cracked my camera. I cracked my camera, and I had to like chisel out the glass with a needle so I can still take pictures.
Right, because he brought it into the store, and they're like, hold on a second, I'm going to need Donnie from the back. Hey, Donnie from the back.
Do you remember these?
What is this?
They wheel Donnie out in a wheelchair. He's like, I remember these.
Yes, back when we had payphones.
Yeah. A time before time.
Ancient.
You know what? Let's jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson,
Ian,
Ed,
and today our very special guest,
Sierra. She's a medical professional. She's a medical student.
Ooh.
She's also a nerd.
Yes. Do you dissect frogs?
I have before.
Very nice.
Frogs wasn't that bad. Cats was a
I
little.
did dissect a cat before.
That's a little more real, right?
Yeah.
Cat's rough.
I think they do pigs too, right? After a while, like isn't that
They
like
do,
the
and
closest
then-
thing to a cadaver?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
worst part
pig-
is when they had babies, though, and you had to pull out the babies from the dead cat.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you have to expose you to it early, you know?
Well, they have to see if you can handle it, I assume,
I
right?
guess, yeah.
Because it's two parts. It's smell, right? And also the visual side of it all. A lot of people could be very book smart, but when you put them into the
all of a sudden there's an
nitty-gritty?
actual,
I had a
an
bu-
actual
Thing in front of you.
animal in front of him. It's like, go ahead, now cut it open.
No, I had a buddy that went into med school, and he didn't even realize till a couple years in that he passes out when he sees blood.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Imagine
But
getting
by
that
then,
far.
you know, you're $120,000 in the hole.
shit.
Needless to say, he's a very successful radiologist right
Oh,
now.
I
He's
was-
good.
I was gonna-
He's good. He's
I
good.
was gonna
blood.
say,
Yeah.
those
Still a
that can't
doctor.
do
Just
teach.
looks at MRIs all day.
Yeah.
Looks at MRIs all day. So.
He could have went into teaching, but
Yeah.
like just to
Nah,
a certain
he's-
point.
He does good, but you know, it's like a radiologist. They are in a dark room all day, looking at MRIs, and you stare at things long enough, you see whatever.
Just developing film.
Yes, basically.
Isn't it like that episode of
Seeing
Jackass
things
we
that
talked
aren't
about?
Yeah.
Where like they come in, he's like, "Well, we got a car up our ass or whatever."
Yeah. You have a car in your ass.
It's like me and the guys were having a little fun last
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
How did that get there?
I don't want to talk about it.
This needs to go. No, we were talking about medical stories when we were out in the living room earlier.
Yeah.
And I worked at a hospital for a while too, so I did see some crazy stuff myself.
Yeah. Like people put whipped cream in the microwave.
Oh, please, fill us in. Tell us the story.
Now, yeah, of course, due to HIPAA, we can't give you any names, but we saw
Edward.
someone. We saw two patients the other day. Get this. This is just going to bring you up to speed on the state of our country. We saw two patients the other day in the hospital. One of which was in the ICU because he put whipped cream in the microwave
Nice.
and decided to watch it to get real close to the microwave. And then we had another guy who was in the ICU because he was very thirsty and decided that on the job site he was going to try to take a drink out of a functioning power washer.
Yeah.
Which, please, never do any of those two things.
Those are real stories. They were not under the influence of anything. Those were ideas they had.
Was
You're not supposed to put metal in a microwave.
Anything pressurized?
Or
Ed-
pressurized gas.
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say, is this the canned whipped
The can.
cream? Is it the
Container?
the
What-
container
No.
whipped cream?
Oh, wait.
Pressurized gas, whipped cream, probably full.
Jesus.
He built a bomb. That's what he
Yeah,
did.
he did. And
He built a
watched it,
bomb and then
Blow
he
up his face.
stared at it.
and he stared at it until he set it off. You're
Like, how's this
absolutely
gonna
right.
end?
Man, no. One time I was working at the hospital, but I worked as a security guard there. I was fresh out of the military. It was an easy job to kind of jump into. And somebody came in and they just had like this bloody rag over their nose. And I remember the lady at the front desk, because you see so much shit.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
You're
She's like,
desensitized, yeah.
did you really come into the ER for a bloody nose? And then he removes the paper shielding the face. And there was a fish hook that went from his top upper lip through his nose.
Oh,
But it was one of those fish hooks that you can't pull it back.
barb.
It's barbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Fuck
going to have to
that
clip
noise.
that and pull it back through. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I hope he likes lip rings and nose piercings.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened to that guy,
Yeah.
but
No, I remember we saw a patient. I saw a patient one time, and he came in, and they said he was coming in for a laceration to his knee, and I'm like, "What, you pussy? Like, you're coming into the hospital on the weekend because you got a cut on your knee, you know?" And then he's a real nice kid, and we took him up. Once we put him under, we took the ace wrap off his leg,
Yeah.
and it looked like he just came from the Battle of Hastings. Like, it looked like he looked like he took a full on battle axe to
Yeah.
the kneecap. Like,
Oh,
when they took the ace wrap off, I was staring into his kneecap. Like, I was looking under his patella, like his quad muscles just hanging out. I was like, "Oh my god!"
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I feel so bad for making fun of this.
It's like laceration to knee. Bit of an understatement.
Yeah.
We need a middle ground.
Yeah.
between laceration and like loss of limb.
Yeah, no, he
because
was-
it's
and-
halfway there.
No, and he was
Olaf.
he was right there. He was right there on the border of amputation. and
Man. Well, I actually hurt myself in a large capacity a number of times. Split my head open twice when I was younger, but the worst one I did was my leg, and it was something similar. Like I got a scar on the back of my left calf. We were putting the aluminum shutters up,
yeah.
and I bumped my leg, and I was like, oh fuck, that's gonna be a bad bruise. And I didn't realize it split me open like down to the fucking meat. So like I take a step or two and I'm just bleeding on the garage floor. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh no. So I took off my shirt, I wrapped it around my leg. I'm like, I walk into the house nonchalant. I'm like, I have to go to the hospital. And I thought I was bad, but while I was there was another person with a similar injury, far worse. He was already on an extension ladder, like 2 stories up with
Always
panels.
a good setup.
Yes.
Always a
Yeah.
good setup.
It always ends great.
And
that way.
it hit the top of like his shoulder blade and went all the way down his leg. He was split open, like cut from the panel, putting it up in the air with his like father or some shit like that. I was like, fuck, I know I was in here first. Take that guy. You know, like
His looks worse than mine.
Sierra's been split open, but that's a different injury. not related to medicine.
You know, it's amazing. Those panels are
different,
are-
but
type
similar.
of- Close.
Similar.
Close.
Similar. Yeah.
Change the topic.
Didn't require stitches. Didn't require stitches.
So you know.
The more you know.
Those panels are incredibly sharp, and they're still cut by hand with a punch machine. All they have to do is adjust the die to round the edges, and people wouldn't get cut open while handling them.
But that costs money, though.
It's such a tiny fix
Right,
for
but-
something that it's already being done by hand still.
It's like Fight Club. They look at A, cost of fixing it, B, cost of the possible lawsuits of injury.
Yep.
If A doesn't outweigh B, we don't get shit.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
if they
how it
put a
goes.
warning sign on it, then it's okay.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's
Oh
right.
yeah, that gets away with everything.
Like, don't
Exactly.
iron the clothes while wearing the clothes. Come on.
Yeah, and listen.
Or caution, your coffee is hot. But
Yes, yes, yeah. But
Please
you know,
don't pour coffee directly on face. Like, what the shit?
don't dry your hair while you're in the shower. You know, all those good things.
Those
No,
are the
you should also
lawsuits.
throw the hair dryer in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the lawsuits that bog on my brain, though. It's like the person that gets away with like suing McDonald's for drinking hot coffee and burning themselves.
Exactly.
It's like it's hot fucking coffee.
I know. Supposedly, the one defense to that they said was like, "Well, the coffee was really hot that day." I'm like, what? Like, how hot are we talking? The only way you get a lawsuit and you should win is if they pour that coffee into the cup and it melts through the cup and burns your hand.
Right.
Then okay. If they're serving liquid metal.
Right.
It's an interesting case because what ended up coming out, because they always point to that as one of like the big, oh, look at this frivolous lawsuit.
I knew Ed would have the details.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Apparently, they got warned multiple times from multiple other people where they had reported that the coffee was actually so hot that it was causing 3rd-degree burns.
Oh, well, okay. That's
So-
different.
Third degree.
3rd-degree burns. It was essentially being handed like boiling.
For those of you
At
that do not know, a
boiling.
3rd-degree burn goes through the muscle and exposes bone.
Exactly.
Shit.
So there was several people complaints and reports to the Better Business Bureau of the coffee that's being served is so hot, people are getting legitimately hurt. So she was finally like the last straw where it fell on her lap.
So somebody was just turning that coffee machine on and cranking it up to like, okay, like,
1,000.
Yeah.
So she had
I'll put it
got
on a pot and boil it too.
so it wasn't like she burned her legs. She burned her legs, her groin, and everything 3rd-degree burns. So
Like,
she was,
a lot of boob.
and she wasn't suing for
Give
she
that
wa-
woman some
Yeah.
McDonald's money.
She was
Holy
just
hell.
suing to pay the medical bills. Like, you're serving it at a temperature that's so hot that if I try to drink it, I'm going to burn myself.
Sure.
There's a level of
Well,
hot you want your
It'd
coffee.
be
Your
fatal.
whole throat.
You took a
Yeah.
shot of that coffee, it'd be fatal.
Yeah, so she was only suing to pay the medical bills. But once the jury got wind of like, oh, this isn't the first time. There's been several people and
And they
several
awarded her more
complaints.
money.
Who's the
and they've
monster
not-
at that McDonald's that's just like every morning just like
Yo, you know,
just turns the knob up and walks
Well,
away?
if it's like burning your esophagus, if you like swell up, like you can't even put an airway tube in there if it's swelling up like that.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. Little insider
interesting.
too.
Oh, a little medical information
Yeah,
here.
can't even
PMC
eat
knowledge.
the
Well, I heard that they tried to pay her with Monopoly points. Like they're like, we'll give you a boardwalk, we'll get you started.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were already stolen by the
Yeah.
mafia.
It doesn't work here.
They paid
That's
her.
why I haven't won. God damn it.
They paid her in Happy Meal toys.
Yeah. I always got the free fries or the sundae. I was like, I don't want no fucking. And they were small. I don't want small fries.
With ice cream.
Get well
But it
soon.
never works, so you can't get the
Wilson.
ice
That
cream.
machine is always broken.
Yeah, no. Apple pies was a
24/7.
good day. Apple pies was. I like the apple pie reward. I was like, all right, this is cool.
All right, this is-
This is acceptable. I'll take this.
I'll go
Liz.
back.
I'll
Apple
take this.
pies.
I'll take this. It's no big. Yeah.
good enough.
So in the beginning, we usually jump into a little bit of what's new. Ed or Ian.
What's new is the Renaissance Fair was canceled today.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Rained out. Yes.
Depressing.
It was Viking weekend. We were all supposed
Why?
to go.
You even cut your hair for
I even
it,
cut my
man.
hair
Yeah.
for it.
I was gonna braid it for him
Shit.
too.
We were ready to go.
You know what? Crystal was gonna get her hair braided this morning too.
I could have done her hair.
Oh,
See?
well, I'll let her know next
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, we can actually do the braids.
Ed
for
was
that.
gonna braid his hair. Ooh,
Yeah, it's-
sorry.
Oh,
Source subject.
Little tough.
He was gonna braid his hat. He was gonna braid his hat.
we can put a wig
Yeah. You can get one of those with the hair that comes attached to it.
with the helmet and the horns.
I got the proper Renaissance Fair hat to go.
Oh, he's good then.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna go as a monk with the big cross. I was gonna hold the Holy Bible.
You're just asking to get
Yeah, and I was gonna yell at people.
You were gonna go as a Christian
Sinner!
Yes,
on
yes.
Viking weekend.
Repent!
That's exactly what I was gonna do. I was gonna walk
Never
around
just
all
gives me
day
dirty look like, who
"Sinner!"
are you?
You pagan scum!
You don't believe in God?
It would have been great. You know what I mean? Call somebody sinner. Can I get a picture with you? All right. Yeah. That's what I
works.
love about the Renaissance Fair. And there's furries that show up to the Renaissance Fairs. This
man.
one in particular every year with fox costumes. And it's like Legend of
yeah.
Zelda
In Florida.
Fox.
Yeah.
Bro,
Dude.
like 100-degree weather, not taking their mask off. They are in it to win.
If you're lucky, you'll see a couple people in full plate, like proper full plate,
Just sizzling.
just sizzling.
You're like cooking in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tenderizing.
It's a good weight loss program if you
Oh,
ask
Oh
me.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you lose a couple pounds.
Can you imagine the juice that comes out of those suits
Yeah.
at the end of this day? Oh,
Well, that's why I
man.
figure monk, robe with a hoodie. I can go full naked underneath,
Fuck
and
yeah.
then just
Free air it out.
just wear the cross, to keep me cool. Like,
I was so bummed when we got rained out. I was like, what am I gonna do with this tunic? Like, oh my god.
we're gonna go.
We're just gonna go a different weekend.
Yes.
Yes. I was like, I ordered so much shit off Amazon.
Yeah. No. Eddie did too. Like,
Yep.
we were gonna go in early, sneak in, go get our outfits, but now we can take our time.
We can
actually.
plan. We can plan.
Yeah.
like,
Depends on how
accordingly.
far out we decide. But
Yeah. No.
I can order more stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I might actually switch up because monk was the way to go. The other way I was gonna go kind of like a musketeer, kind of like a the fancy vest with the little cutlass sword, like get my mustache cut into a fine point, one of those guys.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Like Antonio Banderas
And bandanas.
without the hair. Can I borrow some?
You look like an So
Yes.
what's I guess we could go into what's new. I mean, we all probably got stuff going on in our life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things we're into.
Ed?
Sure. So what's going on this week?
Well,
that I
that's
see?
great,
Yep.
Ian.
Wow.
Sure. Fantastic. Thanks.
Thanks for that
thoroughly
beautiful
enjoyed that. That was
tidbit.
great.
Actually, I'm interested to see because I know
Yeah.
Ed probably knows what's going on with the Nintendo.
You're not wrong because that is what the general American public is doing with the Olympics this year. It's like
Yes.
fuck it.
Yo, it's going on right now?
Yeah,
The Winter Olympics is happening
They already
right
had
now.
the figure skating, the snowboarding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
so-
Shaun White available?
His last run.
Yeah, came in fourth place.
last run.
Yeah, but he's retiring. He was already a couple years in at this point.
And I don't know the name of that Japanese kid that won the gold
Oh my
medal.
God.
Amazing.
Holy.
They cheated him out of the second run that he did.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a trick that no one had ever done in the Olympics, and they gave him a lower score than the guy before him.
The judge was saying something. I remember
Oh,
the
that's
judge.
bullshit.
The judge was like, "I've been doing this for 25 years." He goes, "That was." He even said, that was the most difficult run that was ever performed in the history of the sport. He's like, and they gave him like a 91.
Yeah,
He's like,
there's
"No."
Yeah.
there's a lot of issues happening.
Politics. It's politics involved.
China.
Well,
China.
that was one of the things I was going to get into. There's a bunch of stuff going on with the judging that seems off. There's a bunch of athletes that are getting popped left and right for cheating, and then you have one of the newest bits of controversy is you have American athletes that are American born and American trained that are competing for China. Mm-hmm. So you have
paying for ringers.
So that's
Sleeper
what
cells.
That's what it looks like. Is that they're not getting paid directly, but their family magically has a few more dollars, and all of a sudden you have someone that gets them gold in skiing,
right?
Or they failed at figure skating. The person they brought over for figure skating fell on their ass.
Good.
And
Traitor.
last place, I believe. But
listen, if she lives in China, it's going to be more than
Yeah.
traitor. They're going to be kicking in that door.
Well, that's part of the controversy, because to become a Chinese citizen, you have to renounce any citizenship you have anywhere else. So, like, are these people renouncing their American citizenship to become Chinese citizens to compete for China, or is China allowing them to not be citizens and
You're
then
a part-time citizen just
compete?
for the Olympics.
Right.
Essentially, yeah, because it was something that it walks the line. We have people that are dual citizens, where maybe they were raised in one country, then came somewhere else, but then compete for where they were first born. But these are people that were born here, trained here, raised here.
That happens a lot in wrestling.
Yes.
In wrestling, people come from other, especially like Japan. People come from other countries. They wrestle here for a real good Division I school, and then once they're like properly trained up, they go back to their country and then they wrestle for their country in the Olympics.
Now,
But you know what? It's been happening in basketball too, right?
Yeah.
Because that's not the first
Yao Ming?
time I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yao Ming?
Last year, or the last Olympics where the basketball was played, that was the first time I was like, wow, there's a lot more recognizable NBA players playing
European teams and stuff.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
So it is happening across the board. It just slowly, like, people are like,
But
oh,
what-
they're doing it here.
the thing is, where it gets funny with China is they have people that don't even have Chinese heritage that are outright from other countries, like
Stephen Fox
Like-
up next for China.
where they're playing.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, not even that.
Tokyo.
They're playing under a different name, even though everyone knows who they are. And then it's a bunch of people on their hockey team,
Wow.
apparently, where it's like these are people from all over the world internationally, and they're playing for China, and they're not even like, well, they have a Chinese relative, or they were born there, or they live. It was just like outright, like, these aren't even like.
Yeah.
So people are complaining that they're taking. There's a couple things they're looking at. Either that they're taking spots from Chinese citizens to promote their country and their sport by coming and bringing people from other countries. And then you have people that are saying, well, they're almost like traitors. They're born in this country, raised in this country, trained in this country, and then they're not playing for their country. They're playing for a different country, and getting paid, off the books and things like that. So it's a whole lot of going on in these Chinese Olympics that's looking pretty bad.
Where's the integrity?
Yeah.
And then they're going to muck up the waters for something that's been held in high regard. Like, this is supposed to be like where we all get together for a peaceful event. We bring the best of the best in our respective territories.
It's an event that's happened even in wartime with warring countries where things are kind of paused, and they hold the events.
It's supposed to be for sport, to bring people together. Look, it even happened on, I don't know if it was World War I or World War II, where it was like Christmas Day that
World War One.
the Americans were fighting
They laid
against.
down. They laid down
both
arms.
both sides,
And they played a soccer game.
Yeah, they've had a snowball fight. They exchanged gifts. They all drank coffee together.
Yeah.
The war literally started.
Yep.
Stopped for one day for Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
So we're all
that
human. We're
mutual
all
bit of
human.
respect.
It is.
Sorry.
No, but that's the
moment.
kind of thing that the Olympics is supposed to promote. But
I think
take away from it.
Sabaton did a song about that. I think
Did he?
Sabaton wrote a whole metal song about that.
What's a Sabaton?
Actually, a Sabaton.
great. Who?
Sabaton is a metal band that sings about military history, but they named their band after an actual Sabaton, which, if you look at an ancient suit of armor, like a knight's suit of plate mail, the boot part with the spiked foot,
Yes.
that is a Sabaton.
We all learned
Now
something
you all
today.
Okay.
Now you all know. I learned that. So, I
So
was like,
Shao
oh,
Kahn's regular outerwear
is
a
a Sabaton.
Yes.
He wears it for around the house.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Shao
You never know
Kahn's
when you-
loafers are a Sabaton.
You never know when you got to kick an animal or
Yeah,
something.
and I was
you know?
actually
Yeah, that's so violent.
did the Russia
out of the
really
way.
did Russia really get penalized? Not really.
No,
they
'cause-
can't compete under their flag. But it says right
No.
there, ROC, Russian Olympic.
Yeah,
And then the
because all
song
their
they play is more Russian than the actual anthem.
I was just about to look
Right.
it up. They
Yeah.
played Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto, which one could argue is more Russian than the Russian national anthem.
Yeah.
Like Tchaikovsky's pretty damn Russian.
Right.
and I mean, if you look at Icarus, the documentary, Russia they cheated across the board. Every single athlete. It was state sponsored doping and cheating.
Here's your breakfast cereal. Comes with the standard milk.
Listen,
just eat it.
If everybody's
Don't ask
cheating,
any questions.
If everybody's cheating, just make it across the board, right? Do like what Pride did. Everybody juice, show up to the fucking party, and let's see who's got the best option.
Shout out to Pride, the greatest MMA company of all time.
The only problem is China might beat us when it comes to that shit.
Make it a freak show.
It'll be like it'll be like 10 of the same looking person. Like, wait a second.
Yeah,
these are clones. Is this the Clone Wars?
Yes, yes, it is.
That's what they should do. I think that's what they should do with ONE FC. ONE FC should be a fight organization where we don't test you and we just openly say, everybody I want to see what a human
what can you
being
do
can
and accomplish.
Yeah, it's the same thing with baseball, right? I know I've heard other people say about it. It's like they're hitting a ball with a bat.
Yep.
Let them juice.
I guess, yeah.
More home runs.
Yeah.
More home runs.
Combat sports, I can see the argument, I guess. It's like,
Right.
you're hitting a human skull.
Right. Or just take the stadium and shrink it a little bit. Yeah. More home runs. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, you juice them up, it can make the stadium bigger.
yeah, that's
Fuck yes.
that's true.
Make
too.
them run fast.
Make the
Everything.
diamond
Everything
bigger.
be better.
Yeah.
They gotta run
Everything be
further.
better.
They run faster. So
If you want to spice it up, put layer the stadium with glass. So every now and again, a baseball hits and glass
Shatters
Yes.
the whole stadium.
all over the people.
And not to mention that, the stands are made of glass. So everything just starts shattering. Oh.
So if you're good enough, like you put your home team people here and you put the other people here, you start aiming for the fucking people rooting against you.
The front
this is
seats,
why you don't root for them. No.
Yeah.
You gotta move the other side.
The front seats are the cheapest, but the problem is the front seats don't have a net covering it, and the seats are made of glass.
Yes.
You can get in for $20. You can go to a baseball game for $20, but
Yeah, that's
just
right.
hear me out.
Yeah,
Your
if you
seats
guys
are
want to
li-
make it more exciting, talk to the Sofa
Yeah.
Kingdom.
They basically say
We got
good luck.
ideas.
That's right. He hits a line drive. Oh, everybody on the left is dead. Everyone on the left side of the stadium is dead.
I mean, look, in other countries,
Work on the aim, see who you can pick off.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
like that
exactly,
person.
yeah.
Right there.
other countries are spicing it up. I just seen, this is going to be my what's new. It was a fight, but I'm going to be very delicate in the way that I say this. It was two naturally born men
Got it.
fighting a woman transitioning or
So
Halfway
a
through.
transgender man versus two cisgender men.
Yes. And it was
Well done.
wild.
Thank you.
Was I'm like, who is sanctioning these fucking fights?
Russia.
Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
The answer
Or
is
you can
Russia.
do whatever you want.
I'm
We'll just turn the other way.
well, see, that's the problem. I didn't. I'm like, I have to watch this. There was something compelling about this story.
So
I didn't know nothing about
for the
this.
record, just so who
Entertained.
won? Who won? Who won?
I was entertained.
Who won?
Nobody.
Nobody.
They just ended.
Everybody lost.
By watched it, I seen like the highlights. I don't have Russian television in my house.
Yeah, Russia. So
Stream
far,
it, maybe.
So far, out of Russia, I seen
I'm gonna look up who won.
essentially like multiplayer MMA where it's like 5-on-5.
Yep. Slap fighting.
I've seen MMA mixed with parkour, so you have obstacles you can climb and jump off of. I've seen the parkour one with multiple people also. I've seen boxing rings that were narrow, so you had a column of guys versus a column of guys just marching forward.
Damn.
They really went crazy. You know, one big guy versus three small guys.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Good
in
luck.
boxing, whether it's in MMA, they're like, fuck
They had a
it.
superhero one.
People are watching.
They had a
That's
su-
all they
had a-
care.
They had a superhero one. They had like Spider-Man was fighting Batman and Robin. That was pretty good.
I think
Spider-Man was
Now I
a
might
lot
actually
better
watch
now.
that one.
I don't know who was in the Spider-Man suit, but he was really good.
That's why he was in the Spider-Man suit.
He
what I
beat the
see.
shit out of Batman and Robin. I was like, oh man, this
But
is not good.
it's sad though, right? Because there are legitimate fighting organizations that struggle to get views, like kickboxing.
Yep.
Such an amazing
Karate,
sport.
taekwondo. Good luck
Listen,
getting like a large enough
Sumo.
crowd.
Yeah,
Sumo outside of
right?
Japan,
These
yeah.
are great sports. The only time karate was getting some play was there was a show where like these karate masters would so-called come onto the stage and
Yes,
fight. You ever see this?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was like wrestling. It was all pre-planned out.
Yes, yeah. It was actually pretty good. I won't lie. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'd have like ninjas attack the set.
I can't
and they're
remember
like,
what it is.
Ninja fight. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, bitch.
Yeah, but everybody had like a different.
Another ninja.
Everyone had like a different fighting style, but it was essentially pro wrestling with martial arts, where
I
it
never
was
saw that,
pre-planned out fights, but they were all fancy looking and all that.
It was actually pretty cool.
I remember when K1 was like big, and it was actually in casinos here in the United States. And K1 it was good, but like I wish Glory and like even Muay Thai, I wish it would get the
hype that it
deserves.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if you want to see high level striking, some of those fights that come out of Thailand, it blows your mind.
Yeah. Do you think it's a promotional issue?
Absolutely, and it's an interest thing. Like
Yeah.
people, people would rather watch.
Interests change though as time goes. Like
We'd rather watch Jake Paul fight Pauly Shore.
Right, and then
Oh, it's so
Well, you want to watch?
I would watch that shit out of that.
People
I
want to
just want to
watch.
see the shit get beat out of him. That's the only reason I'm watching it.
That is literally all it is. They're hoping Jake Paul gets knocked out.
Did you
Yes.
see Jake?
That's the only reason I'd watch it, is to see him
Did
get
you
knocked
see
ass out.
Jake Paul's new song that came out? Fuck Dana White.
Oh my god, no.
Chris Cyborg and Antonio McKee are both in the video.
Oh, that's
it's
fucking great.
And I was listening to it.
It's not bad.
It's not the worst thing I heard. Man. It's not the worst thing I heard.
Is it better than The Rock's verse?
It's literally just.
Do you remember when The Rock
Yes,
rapped?
yes.
And look, I love everything The Rock does. I stand behind him.
It's about money. It's about power.
Percent.
He's better as Maui singing.
Yes.
You're welcome was much better. Than
But he's not rapping. He's singing.
No, he killed it.
No,
there.
he's much better. Much better when he sings. But no, Jake Paul. The song is literally like a UFC fighter union statement. It's literally like just a diss on paying the fight.
I gotta give him credit though. Like he finds a lane and he fucking rides it. And, and he gets views. He gets people
money.
talking about him.
He gets money. Whenever Jake Paul fights, we watch.
He's smart.
We watch.
But speaking of the Paul brothers, they still haven't gotten paid for fighting with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather hasn't
Really?
paid them.
Yes.
So
they
he's like
sued him.
3. He's like 3 months past due on paying them.
It's almost as if Floyd Mayweather doesn't have any money.
Yeah, it's almost as if Floyd Mayweather
Floyd Money Mayweather.
is kind of a piece of shit because all the things he was talking about happening to other fighters not getting paid by their promoters and all that, he was the promoter on the fight, and he is doing all of
he
the
was
things
condemning others
that he
for.
rallied against for everybody else. Now that he's the one in charge, he's doing all the same scumbag shit.
Oh well, that's the way it goes. I mean, all those
The men in
guys,
power.
they destroyed. That's what the problem with boxing is.
Yes.
Now we go back to this whole fucking issue where that's the problem with boxing. People say, "Oh, why did MMA take off? Why did people start watching MMA? Why did the UFC get as big as it is?" Because boxing is run by these old, rich fucking scumbags that ruined the sport.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
ruined it, and that allowed people like Jake Paul, celebrity boxing matches. That allowed them to take part. I mean, guys like Don King, Bob Arum, they destroyed the sport.
Yeah.
They literally. They use the hunger and ambition of these young athletes that need money and they're hungry and they potentially,
And they took advantage of them.
They bled them for everything.
They
bled 'em
basically
for
followed
everything.
the same scenario that they were doing in the music industry. The people that knew how the inner workings, so to speak, they were robbing these people blind.
Oh, yeah.
Taking their money, and they were making a better living than the actual artists themselves.
Right.
So the same thing happened with these promoters.
When the manager is making more money than the fighter, that's a problem. That's
Yeah,
a
the
serious
person
Same
that-
thing with the
problem.
artists. They're not making as much as the
Absolutely.
producer.
Yeah.
This is they're stealing all the money from them.
A good
Oh, yeah.
a good story I can tell you about that this is actually a story came from the Klitschko brothers.
All right.
Came from Vitaly and Vladimir, and they were going to get signed by Don King.
Mm-hmm.
Don King wanted to offer them this big contract, so they went over to his house. They said they went to his house. It's this giant, lavish mansion, like it's beautiful, freaking silk curtain. I mean, it was a palace that this motherfucker lived
That
in.
explains his hair.
Exactly.
All
And
the
they
static
said-
electricity.
They said he came in, and then when they came in the room, they heard this beautiful piano concerto being played. And they come in, Don King's sitting there at this piano, and he's playing and everything. And the brothers were like, okay, and he goes, hey, sit down. And he had him make a drink. He had these girls come out and serve him these drinks, these beautiful girls that just living in his house.
Of course they
that served him these drinks. And then at one point in time, he got up and went to the bathroom. Now, Vladimir Klitschko he has multiple doctorates. He speaks multiple languages. He's in parliament over there. He's not a dumb man.
Yep.
He said when Don King went up and went to the bathroom, he said that piano concerto he was playing was like a masterpiece. Like
Yeah.
when you were promoting all these fights and being in prison and shit, where did you learn to play at a high composer level?
yeah.
He proceeds to walk over to the piano and look at it. It's fucking automated.
It's a player piano.
It's automated. Don King was sitting there pretending to play the piano to impress these two European boxers. And they said as soon as they saw it, they went, that's all we needed to know about Don King.
Yep.
No deal was made. No deal
Yeah,
was
but
made.
listen,
Absolutely not.
You got to give him credit. Like he's a swindler at the highest level,
Oh,
right?
He
Yeah.
killed a guy.
Yeah.
And you hear stories about Don King. Don King shot a man dead in the street. Yeah, he's believe me, he's not a joke, but he's corrupt as fuck. You know?
He's the Suge Knight of the boxing
Yeah, I was about to say, Suge Knight's not a pussy either, but you know. And speaking of something that's in the news, tonight is the Super Bowl.
Nice.
Whenever this comes out, you'll see it. But tonight is
baseball.
the Super Bowl.
Everybody loves baseball.
That's right. Everybody loves baseball
in the Americas, not golf.
But Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and Dr. Dre are doing the halftime show.
Good.
And Snoop actually recently in an interview spoke out about Suge. They said like, you know, he went from being like the OG to like he said something. He dissed him basically, and then he like flicked off the camera. And I wanted to be like, at one point in time, Snoop, that was your daddy.
Yeah.
At one point in time, Suge was signing them checks, man.
Yeah.
Are you guys worried about a nip slip happening tonight with
with Eminem?
with Eminem and Dre? Maybe like a little
No, but believe it or not, I am.
cleavage out there.
I am.
That shit would be hilarious.
Snoop Dogg's titties.
Just took a look at yours like,
Just nipple tassels, right? Just
Because everything that
I would be like, this is the greatest Super Bowl halftime show
like
ever.
the black
No
was like the
street
leather,
cred.
and he's just
Like, is that the Shakira song? That's actually not too bad.
everything that happened with that with Justin Timberlake has been back in the news recently. So if they were to take advantage of that
man.
and do some shit that just makes it look like it, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that
I
would
am
be
looking
something
forward to it though because like it's like the early '90s over again.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, not Eminem. Eminem came in a little later, but it's gonna be like a California rap homage. I mean, you got Dre, who's too damn rich. I'm surprised he even showed up. He's like, I'm a billionaire.
Yeah,
but I
what
guess I'll
are
show
they
up.
paying him?
Believe it or not, they do not pay the Super Bowl halftime guys
I'm
a lot.
not sure.
He's actually correct.
Look it
about
up,
that.
look it up.
Historically,
Do some Googling,
Who
everybody.
knows about
Google
what's
it.
going on here?
Do some Googling.
What it is they say you're getting this exposure, and so therefore you're gonna make a lot of money
What
because
exposure
of it.
does Dr. Dre need? No.
He just wants to show
They
up
might
and
not be
show how good
passing
he is.
cash
Listen.
over the table, but that
Nowadays,
man is
everybody
fucking
wanna
getting
talk like
something.
they got
'cause
something to
he
say.
does. He's not
Nothing
exposure
comes
for
out when you move your
Are you
lips.
fucking kidding
It's
me?
a bunch of gibberish.
Yo,
Dr.
listen,
J needs
Motherfucker, Zach,
exposure.
like, you
Snoop
forgot
Dogg needs
about
exposure.
Dre.
You fucking kidding me?
Next year we're gonna see
He's gonna
like,
show those new young kids how it's done.
Oh
right.
yeah,
they're gonna
sure.
be sponsored by Dr. Dre's New Jersey team, like, the whole NFL next year.
He's gonna have his all new football team.
I wonder if Snoop's gonna do any of the Gonjalorian stuff. I want to know if we're gonna hear big subwoofer tonight at the halftime show. No, but I'm excited. It's gonna be because I mean, normally you hear a halftime show. It's like the weekend me. Like, you know, you hear other artists perform. Like, I enjoyed Lady Gaga's performance. When she did that weird jump thing, I thought she killed herself. I thought, like, when she jumped off the rafters, I was like, oh my God.
That would have been a better show.
What
Made it more interesting, at least.
as you eat your banana walnut bread, sir.
Mission is slamming.
But no, it should be a good concert tonight.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are saying like there's a football game accompanying
The concert.
The concert's more important than the actual game.
We're gonna know in the future whenever this airs who won, but go Rams. All right, there you go.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, whoever. Not my teams, I don't care.
Go Sparks.
You know, today actually we were gonna show up. I was telling Eddie, I was thinking about it. I thought it would be funny. And then I passed along the joke to other people, and they were like, I don't think that's funny. I was like, we should show up to Viking weekend at Renfest wearing, like, Viking football jerseys. I was like, that would be fucking hilarious.
Actually would be hilarious.
Yeah. But I got shunned.
Or we should go on. Shun the non-believer.
Not okay.
No. We should go to Wench's weekend dressed up as wenches, all of us.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of guys dressed up as winches that are there.
I'm getting a picture with them.
Listen, I'll definitely go with you guys, but I'm not dressing up as a witch.
Why not?
I'm way too pretty.
Thank you for caring.
That's why like I don't commit crime. I was like, I can't go to jail.
Just look at me.
That's right.
You know what they would do to
Oh,
me?
man, you would go.
You know
would
the
go,
temptation? Get the fuck out of here.
They wouldn't be able to resist.
you would go for top dollar. At least 3 cartons of
That's
cigarettes.
right. Sorry.
3 cartons
They'd be
of
holding
cigarettes.
pockets.
Not happening.
There'll be some guy that looks like Derek Lewis. He's like, oh my God. Oh my God, look at that.
Hold my pocket.
Yeah.
Oh my pocket. God, man, God bless that show.
Oh, that shows. Yeah.
Scared Straight. Where did it go?
Yeah, we need more.
The bikes.
You know what happened?
Bikes.
The
Bikes.
the allure of it went away when the kids started arguing back on like Jerry Springer and shit, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, we really can't."
It became
do
a
nothing.
spot to kind of get 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
What
And
can I do to
then we
get on the show now?
got the Catch Me Outside girl.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Good job.
Thank you, Doc.
I still believe to this
Are you a real
day-
doctor?
No.
All right, you guys believe in
I
conspiracies?
don't believe he actually is.
Oh,
No,
I
he's
am
not.
either.
No.
He's not. You guys believe in conspiracies?
No, but I have a friend named
That-
Ivan.
The world's flat.
That is Dr. Phil's illegitimate daughter, and it was their plan all along to get her into the spotlight and make
Yeah.
money off of the American people with his fake doctorate.
Yeah. He said, if you cancel the child support payments, I'll bring her on the show.
And they brought her on the show.
Deal.
Yeah.
And I still love that he's like 3 times divorced and gives like relationship advice.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
is what I think you should. I give better advice than I take it myself.
It's like Joe Rogan said. He's on the show. He's like, look at me. I got a tie. My shoes are slippery. Listen to what I have to say. Beating. And some of the shit he covers is so stupid. Like the masturbation episode. I felt so bad for that guy.
Yeah.
Guy's
Yeah.
just sitting up there. His wife's like, all he does is watch porno.
Oh shit!
Beating's as bad as cheating. Beating's as bad as cheating.
Yeah. While he's wearing his Viking outfit in the kitchen, like
Damn right.
the fridge open.
But as long as it's the Vikings back then, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I never skip forearm day.
That's why there's so many veins.
I stay ready. I stay ready.
Speaking of staying ready, Vox Machina.
Yes.
When he shot lightning out of his dick.
He said, I'm ready.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
If you're not watching Vox Machina on Amazon Prime,
Get
you're
on
fucking
it.
up.
You're
fucking
doing
up.
yourself a disservice. It's hilarious. It's
Turn off
well
Boba
written.
Fett.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, just the first 4 episodes. The last
Just watch the last
3.
episode. The last 2 episodes.
Turn off Boba Fett.
Watch Max
I've turned into Nelson. I've turned into Nelson. Nelson was
You've seen the
preaching the whole
ways.
time. He saw the future. Mm-hmm. Let's put it this way: it's not the worst show you'll watch, but it's just content. It's
The only
just
thing that actually makes it is Grogu because he's cute.
That's
That's
why
about
they
it.
brought him in.
another spoiler. alert.
Yeah, that's why they brought him
back.
in. They had to because they were like, we need to pull out all the stops to save the show. Here's one of the things that I found out listening to Fat Man Beyond. They were planning 3 movies of Mandalorian-style movies in the Star Wars universe based off of the success on Boba Fett and Mandalorian.
Because Boba Fett wasn't supposed to be a series originally; it was supposed to be a movie, and then they changed it to be a series. And a lot of the issues, I mean, it's hard to not believe the rumors because you can see the emails and things like that. Everything that leaks that's going on that's bad is falling back on the president, Kathleen Kennedy, who keeps trying to
No relation to
change-
John F. Kennedy, correct?
yeah.
No.
No, that's
No.
a shot in the dark.
Same name.
You're welcome.
60 years is too soon.
But she keeps kind of sticking her 2 cents into the lore and to the story of everything in the universe there. And essentially everything that she was supposed to head project-wise keeps getting canceled. Everything she touches tends to get ruined, at least for the fan base.
You mean everything she touches turns into a giant
So-
politically correct pile of shit?
Correct.
She brings
So-
the wokeness.
So a lot of the first... So
People don't appreciate that.
So-
no, we want the story. We
Yeah.
don't want the fake story. We're not imbeciles. We're not children. It's like you can still have a political correctness and still have a wokeness and not shove it down our throats.
You don't need to overdo
You
it.
can tell the story. You know, it's like when you watch certain series and they force feed you some shit and you're like, it's just not important. It's not relevant to the story at large. So like it could be an afterthought. It could be something that's insinuated and then move the fuck on. Because I just want to see the show that I'm here to see.
Right.
yeah,
But
so
they
she-
still put it in there. And
yeah.
Right.
So at this point, I believe she's, other than the little bits that she managed to squeeze into Boba Fett, the first 3 episodes there.
Power Rangers.
That was her?
That was her. Oh,
Yeah, a
that
lot
was
of that.
one her
A lot of
ideas.
that stuff was her.
The Bacta tank?
which is why.
yes.
Yeah, which is why you got like 2 episodes of Mandalorian in the middle, and then they spent like 3 weeks essentially just doing reshoots when they put those episodes on, and they redid the last episode because they kind of like, oh, this is doing bad. We need to remove some of whatever she's trying to force.
Because it was. We were kind of all even talking about it on the show. We were like, when is he going to be Boba Fett?
Right. And
Yeah.
we're huge fans. Like, we were rooting, as much shit as I talked, we were rooting for the show to succeed because this is like a childhood, like, hero, kind of, not really because he's a murderous bounty hunter, but like something that we were like, that's a badass.
It was like being a BJ Penn fan. We all loved him. We wanted to see him do good. You're just watching him lose, and you're like, come on.
Yeah, every now and again, he kicks somebody's ass in a Hawaiian party at his house. But we still loved him.
Sean Shark, you're dead.
So contractually, she still has one project that she has to get. So they do have to green light at least one of her projects. So she was supposed to be doing the Acolyte project. That seems to be falling apart.
This is like a Disney contract. Like,
that-
we know you're shit, but we'll give you like one
Well,
year.
One more chance.
Yeah,
To
I mean, she had several shows and they've all been getting turned down. So, but contract-wise, she's supposed to get at least one. So, at least one of her ideas, they're going to have to green light. But so far, they're like, no, God, no, stop. So hopefully,
maybe at that point she'll just give up and be like, all right, never mind.
Yeah. Or at least she brings somebody on, but she's been quoted in emails because she doesn't like the fan base, she doesn't like the original lore and all that backstory, and she keeps trying to forcibly change what Star Wars is.
Get the message.
Right.
Yes.
So basically, essentially, and this is all rumor and speculation, but a lot of what you can see, the way that the show was played out, you could judge for yourself and say, hey, that sounds feasible. The first 4 episodes were the original episodes that she was involved with and in charge of.
Oh, you mean the worst 4?
The worst 4.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, insert Mando, great music, fight scene, first 60 seconds. I'm like, where the fuck has this show been?
Yeah.
Right? And then the rest of those episodes, including
When
the
the
last
Wookiee
one.
starts punching people with the knuckle dusters.
He's like, I'm taking everybody out.
Yes,
Like, finally.
Exactly.
He didn't even want to pay his tab. He said,
I
I'm
don't
going
care.
to knock someone out instead. No.
They literally said, we
Fuck
will
some
pay
shit up.
your tab if you just put him down. And
Yeah.
no, I will
He's
rip
like,
his
He's
fuck
like,
that.
no, I'll pay it. I still want to kick someone's ass.
Oh, I think they call him like the Angry Wookie or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, it's great.
He's intimidating.
He is.
I would run the other way if I saw him coming at me. I'd be like, nope.
Dude, I think he'd take Chewbacca. That's an intimidating Wookiee, man. That's a
I'd
big
have
ass
to
Wookiee.
agree.
That's a big ass
He was a
Wookiee.
gladiatorial Wookiee.
Yes,
Yeah.
a champion. A champion.
All right.
Scary.
Now, so what?
So if
there's-
you had a doctor and every time they did a surgery, the patient died, like, wouldn't you just stop employing that doctor? I mean,
I
You would
absolutely
hope to
would.
think so.
so come on, Disney.
But that's
What
where
are you doing?
contracts save people that shouldn't be saved.
That's one of the bad. It's good and bad things about unions, you know, good and bad things.
So those last 3 episodes, the last one was a complete reshoot. 2 before that, they dropped in some Mando episodes to salvage the show because ultimately what they were trying to do is save the fact that they got 3 big movies that they're trying to base off of these characters, and people were not happy with the direction that the show was being taken.
I just want to see Boba Fett be Boba. You can't be a nice crime lord.
There was a
can't.
small little glimpse of Boba when he killed Cad Bane.
Yeah.
You know, maybe.
You imagine Tony Montana? Imagine Tony Montana if he was nice.
No one believes.
Oh, you ain't got my money. It's okay. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I'll come back
I
next
forgive
week.
you.
I'll come back. Hey. Oh, you come back next week. They still haven't paid you. Oh, it's okay, man. Don't say.
He didn't bring tribute. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it, man.
He's like, don't worry. No, what?
Cut off one of those ear things. Just bing, send it back with one.
Send a message. Come
Yes,
on. Be intimidating at least. If you're not feared, you're not respected.
Exactly.
Goddamn right. See that?
Cut that tentacle off and whip his ass
Even
with
the
it. you know?
medical professional knows.
If you're not feared, you ain't respected.
Just
There you go.
cauterize the wound.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Take the little
Suck
fire
it up.
thing.
So,
Cauterize that
what
shit.
hospital do you work at so I can avoid?
I won't tell you it's a secret.
I'm so scared.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's not like I don't enjoy it, but
Sometimes fantasy has to be what it is. It has to be fantasy, and you can't trying to throw the political correct message, woke agenda in. It ends up fucking shit up. It does. I mean, Cowboy Bebop fell flat on its face because they tried to make it what it wasn't. The Matrix is now dead.
Yes.
The Wachowskis have murdered it.
Yes.
They went from the geniuses that created the original Matrix to creating masterpiece like V for Vendetta to just being, I mean,
V for Vendetta, to me, what an underrated movie, too.
fuck yes.
Love that
Remember
movie.
the 5th of November.
Okay,
Okay,
so
come on.
I'm
Like,
going to fuck your world up. There's a show on HBO Max called Gunpowder.
okay.
And it's like the actual story of Guy Fawkes and the whole thing that went down with the English. I don't want to spoil it. In that time period, what was going on between the Protestants and the Catholic Church, and why Guy Fawkes got involved, and Spain and all, and the UK or the British at that time, whatever the case was. it's a 3-hour miniseries that you're gonna walk away like, well, that sucked. Like the show was so good, and you have an idea of who Guy Fawkes is to you from V for Vendetta, and then you watch the show, and you're like, Guy Fawkes is gonna fuck some shit up, and they Boba Fett the fuck out of him.
Well, nerfed it. Well, they're telling more of the real story because
Really?
V
No,
from
it's the
Vendetta
historical story.
is it's
fake.
Yeah, it's definitely a better ending than what happened in real life.
Yeah. It was a very
History
ending.
sucks sometimes. What the hell was that show? Chernobyl. When HBO did Chernobyl, it was a fantastic show. But you want to talk about fucking depressing?
Yeah.
I remember it's like this guy, blah blah blah, died. This blah, 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 died. I was like, God, this is the most Russian show I've ever watched in my life. I was like, this is just-
No, it's that. Yeah, I've never watched Chernobyl. I couldn't watch it.
It was so dark,
I knew it was
bro.
going to be. There was another show that was something like that where it was like The Missing or something like where half the people disappeared, and then I watched one episode and I'm like, they cried for 30 minutes of this episode. I can't sit through this shit.
Dude, it was so dark. I remember the one point where all the scientists and like the military officials are standing around the site, like the actual site, and like the guy like literally just tells them, he's like, "We're all gonna be dead in a few years. Like all of us, every single one of us standing here right now is going to be dead in a few years."
It's like, who wants to be depressed?
Exactly. Holy shit! Like, and then
You're like
just-
basically you're electing
just to
to
see
be
the way they
depressed.
the way they tried to cover shit up, and I was like, wow, Russia sucks. Like when like the radiation meters in Sweden are going off, and like Sweden's like, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing over there?
Nothing, don't look.
Our power plants are triggering alarms,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with our. What are you doing? They're, nothing happening.
problem.
Nothing, yes.
Look left.
Yes,
Not your problem.
Yeah.
Look away.
Gorbachev ate a neon light bulb and farted. Like, we're sorry. Like, no. What are you doing? over there?
Everybody's dead.
To be fair, I don't think that there is a government on the planet that would not have handled it in a normal similar fashion.
Oh, we'd
where
have covered it up.
They would have
we definitely would've
covered it up
We'd have
because
covered the fuck out of
everybody's
it.
covering their
Well,
ass.
you could say that, but Japan didn't cover it up.
True. No, Fukushima.
Fukushima went to
Yeah.
shit, and they let everybody know what was going on, and they
said-
were like,
Yeah, no.
anybody got an idea? Because
Yeah.
we
Oh,
got
we don't no
none."
idea.
And
What we're
they
doing.
literally said, like, don't eat the fish during this.
Right,
like, there's
right.
radiation in the water. Because I
Fair
mean,
enough.
in their defense, they gave us Godzilla, and they're trying to.
They-
They're still trying to atone for it.
They're
still
really
trying
trying
to
to make him real life.
Yeah.
And they gave us,
We are so sorry.
they gave us Nintendo too, right?
Yeah.
They did. So
Yeah.
it balances out.
Yeah, it
it's like
does.
thank you for Mario, but fucking Godzilla.
Well, I mean, it was essentially almost a con man that brought Nintendo to America, but that's a whole other story.
Another rabbit
He
hole.
bullshitted his way into getting the rights to bringing Nintendo to America.
Fuck yeah.
So on this subject of like political correctness and wokeness and getting into our fantasy stuff, I am nervous as shit for the new Amazon Lord of the Rings show. I am nervous as
The
shit. for it.
chatter online is so negative already that it is
Well, even
surprising.
the previews don't even look that like good.
enticing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just kind
Tolkien fans especially, and the Tolkien works, you leave them alone.
Right.
It's like it's something I
like
saw.
masterpieces.
Yeah,
You
it's-
can't fuck with it.
You can't. Like, Lord of the Rings, when Peter Jackson did the first 3 movies, when he did Lord of the Rings, he did Two Towers, he did Return of the King. Return of the King got nominated for 11 Academy Awards. It's tied for almost, in fact, it is the highest academically praised movie of all time.
Right.
Some people consider it. And he did a good job with it because he literally, here's the story.
Yeah.
This story is written. I do not need to change it. I just need to try to make it as
I need to just trim it down to
You gotta
be a
interpret
movie.
it.
I
in
have
the
to
big
just,
screen.
I have to just, like you said, I have to decide
What's
what,
the most
what to
important
leave out.
parts, but-
What am I going to leave out? It's all here. So depending on which versions of the movie you watch, it's like 9.5 to 11 hours of cinema and 3 movies that they put into works, and it's literally a masterpiece.
Right.
The Hobbit did not do as well. Why? Because you tried to turn a 300-page book
Into three
into
whole
3
movies.
So you added in extra shit, unnecessary action movies, your
Right.
favorite singing. That's in all the movies.
Well, that's like what they did with Game of Thrones too.
with the last
Well,
season.
The last
last
season,
season
they
was
kind of
god-awful.
just went,
Yeah.
"Meh, we're gonna finish it.
Yeah. Because it wasn't written yet. So then they kind of written their own thing. And
Well, they were rushing because they wanted to finish.
so
Star
when
Wars.
you have-
and they
yeah.
bring in the guy to try to help, but you know that they're going their own direction whether they bring him in or not.
So maybe when a master is working on something, J.R.R. Tolkien, George Lucas,
Martin.
George R.R. Martin,
Nelson Rosa.
when they're working on their masterpiece,
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Try to stay as true to the because Tolkien fans have been
Right.
fans since the 20s.
And there's a reason that
There's a
are.
reason that they've been fans for almost 100 years.
I agree.
100 years because of his work being a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like, let
You don't go and change it
alone.
after that fact.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna try. What are they going off of? The Sumerian
And especially Tolkien's
characters that haven't even existed for 1,000 years. Before Lord of the
especially
Rings?
like
Yeah.
Tolkien's works, which were very descriptive and very like the way they were written. It's not like the way you would normally write books.
No.
The way you would write books now, his books would be looked at as boring.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of the way they were done. But
The level of description that he
The
put
Two
in there.
Towers is the most boring book I've ever read.
But
in my life.
everything is already in there, and the people that loved it for that. Everything was fleshed out in the world.
Yeah.
They didn't need anything additionally to be added in to the story.
Game of Thrones, every chapter with Bran. Every chapter with Bran. I was just like, ah.
Yeah.
I just
Another
hate
guy
how
in a
they-
wheel-
He's just getting carried around.
Another guy in a wheelchair being pushed through the snow.
Listen, I could have dealt with
But then-
everything in that
okay.
show but the fucking ending.
Tell me how he
Anybody
couldn't take
but him.
control. He could take control of the wolves, but he can't take control of a giant.
Thank you. Thank you. He was
Or
the
the Night
most
King.
useless fucking character in the
They
show.
built him up for nothing.
Yes. Oh, I agree. I agree.
Hey, you know, now they got to build.
And when you find out that Cersei was a body double, what the fuck?
Nelson's just mad that they have to build
And they
wheelchair.
kicked Jon Snow out. They're like, "Thank you for saving us, but you have to go now."
And listen, back then, right? Back then,
He couldn't win because he had to be a martyr. He
right,
had to
right,
be.
and he had to be this big. Oh, this isn't right. I had sex with Daenerys twice, probably the most beautiful,
And
powerful.
she's
But now
my
I'm gonna
aunt.
kill her.
She's
Yeah.
my aunt.
Fuck that. That's never
She's
happening.
my aunt.
Bro, not happening. Not back then. Aunts and uncles, they made kings and queens.
Yeah.
that's how they kept the
That's
bloodline.
true.
Yeah,
but
you gotta
still,
keep it pure.
I won't forget ever the house I watched that in, where all the girls were like, "Yes, look, they're having sex." I'm like, "That's his aunt." He's clapping.
You gotta look past that fact. You gotta look past it.
Yeah,
I
look,
see you at Christmas.
yeah. Look,
No.
look past it, Ian. What hospital do you work in again?
She's over here. She's over here going, "If you're not feared, you're not respected."
yeah.
Oh, they're sleeping together and they're related.
So
I look
like
past that.
clapping aunt booty.
They're blood related to the point where you don't even add like a once or
But you're
twice
thinking about
removed.
the time
Yeah.
frame.
No.
Little Johnny Snow's pelvis deep and Aunt Danny, and we're just acting like, "Oh, this is fine."
No, in context,
They're
though,
When you're looking
Targaryens.
at the time frame, it's absolutely normal.
it was.
You're
And,
right.
like, when it came to keeping bloodlines, even the Egyptians did the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Where they kept it in the family.
In the first season, when they offered
Or they would
Daenerys,
just marry you off to whoever they wanted to make more money.
When they married Daenerys off to Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
Khal Drogo is a gigantic barbarian monster, and Daenerys
Exactly.
in the book is like 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, they portrayed her as older in the show than she was in the
Sure,
book.
and they had to do that.
So,
you know, that's just how it
Shit
has to
was.
get done. Yeah.
how shit was back then.
Back in the day, you know, they show up to
So-
your wedding and murder people.
Yeah.
So basically,
Spoiler if you haven't seen
it yet.
Game of Thrones by
Oops,
now.
red wedding.
so basically,
Yeah. Just don't watch the last season. If you haven't watched it yet, don't watch the last
If
season.
you haven't seen Game of Thrones yet, fuck you. What the hell?
That
am I
was
doing?
one of my probably biggest oh fuck moments in
The red-
TV.
the red wedding.
The red wedding.
Yeah.
I sat at the edge of my couch like this, like
Oh yeah.
Mouth open whole time. What is happening?
why?
No, George R. R. Martin is one of the authors that I will say does not give a fuck.
No,
he
no.
will he will develop a character that you love. He will build a backstory, and he will kill them in a paragraph.
He's
In
a
paragraph.
genius.
He-
Yeah, it won't even.
Yep.
Just one little stroke
Yeah.
of sword.
And then
Dead.
he will also take that same skill and craftsmanship and turn a completely useless motherfucker and make him the king.
Yeah. He's a cripple, and literally his sister looks at her, and goes, "But it doesn't work."
Yes. Because they kept it in their family. That's how they knew.
Like, how do you know it doesn't work?
Yeah. What was going on in Winterfell?
These stone walls are not as thick as you think they are.
We hear everything.
These nasty little
That's what
Stark kids.
Littlefinger knew everything.
Yes.
And how did he get that
That's why
name?
they had to kill him off, because he knew.
How did Littlefinger get that name?
Yeah. How do you get that? Exactly.
What are you doing there? Peter Baelish, what are you doing?
We need to do a little research.
So yeah, basically, moral of the story, I'm nervous as shit about this Lord of the Rings show. I know future Emperor of the world, Jeff Bezos, is like, I want to make it like Game of
Yeah.
Thrones and dump all this money into it. But how are you going to tell a story that's like not there?
Yeah.
Like you're going to take these characters that were basically a bunch of short stories in the Sumerian, and you're going to try to bring this into a show where they said they're going to be like, oh, we're going to add sex to it and stuff.
Sure.
It's like, there's not a lot of sex in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you don't have to
There's
add anything
gotta
that
make it
isn't
extra.
already in the story.
They're gonna be It's
We'll see. We'll see.
It's
what
all
they do
fun and
with it.
games until an orc says something racist
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
show's canceled.
Maybe.
You know it's gonna be an orc. You know it will be.
Says something about an elf ears.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a show that I haven't heard too much about, but also Halo is another show that's coming out on Amazon Prime. That
It's gonna be woke. It's gonna be woke.
It could be good. It looks good, but it also could be like one of those like the trailers look really good, but that's the best part about the show.
Yeah.
Is the fucking trailer.
My favorite thing is gonna be the transgender arbiter. I'm gonna really like that. It's gonna be my favorite part of the show.
Get you a little excited.
No comment.
Gender fluid.
Zero comment.
Not even gonna go there.
Not touching it.
Oh, come on.
Not touching it.
Nope.
No.
No.
Come on, guys.
No. You're not calling me a little finger.
He goes, no, don't look.
No, I have more faith in Halo than I do Lord of the Rings. At least Halo, it's like a modern video game.
Yeah.
And the people that created the whole damn thing are still here to get involved
Yeah.
and like directly have some influence on the show. The fuck Tolkien can't even defend
Right, he
himself.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they don't override their ideas.
No, but I think the Lord of the Rings thing is just going to be a fucking roller coaster ride. It's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
I don't.
I hope not. Let's hope
Yeah,
for the best. Let's
if
hope
it-
for the best.
With anything Tolkien and fantasy related, but I think Amazon's golden boy right now is going to be Vox Machina.
Vox
yeah,
Machina
Vox Machina is amazing.
So good.
So,
if
so well done.
Yeah.
Or like or Arcane on Netflix.
Netflix is another.
I
good
wonder
one.
how much the Critical Role cast has control of the story for Vox Machina.
Yeah.
Because all the because they were doing Critical Role and they were all voice actors.
Right.
So they just started showing their D&D game that they were doing on the side. So a lot of the stories, I believe it's actually coming from them, but I do wonder how much control they have because it's excellent so far.
Right.
It's doing a fantastic job. And yeah, it's an adult cartoon and they don't seem to be too concerned about upsetting anybody.
No,
But
not at all.
Look
Don't
what
give a
happens
shit.
when you give people complete creative control. South Park has ran forever. Simpsons has ran forever.
Yep.
Rick
Family
and Morty,
Guy.
Family Guy. They're even trying to bring back Futurama.
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
you just can't be too sensitive about everything, and it's not
Bring
funny.
back
No, it's
the
not.
guy
It's the
that
whole
plays
thing. It's not funny.
Bender, you bastards. Pay him his money. How are you going to take the main funny guy
Funniest guy in the show.
and ask to recast him?
No.
Bring
Yeah.
somebody else
Well,
in?
Mark Hamill said he will not come back as Fry if the original Bender
Good.
voice actor
And
doesn't
that's
come back.
Luke Skywalker for
Yeah.
you.
That's a Jedi
That's
mind
the
trick
good
right
side
there.
of the Force. That is the good side of the Force right there.
He said, "Well, I guess you're gonna have to recast me too." I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh,
'Cause-
that's a
Good
fucking
move.
Because he didn't just play.
threat.
Good move.
He didn't just play Bender. He actually played several characters.
Sure.
So recasting him is essentially not just recasting the funniest guy on the show.
Who the fuck's
He's
Zoidberg?
recasting
Show.
several casters.
Who plays Zoidberg? Who's just stuffing cotton balls in their mouth? Dr. Zoidberg.
I actually like the two aliens that come down every now and again to like destroy Earth.
Yes.
The one with the green guy with the wide eye and his wife.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The green. Yeah.
They're lizards. They're like giant lizard people.
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
I know
They
what you're
rule
talking
their
about.
own planet.
They're fucking great. That some of those cartoons have way more leeway than most shows because they get away with being a cartoon. That's why I think I was saying it before, like Critical Role, like that show would be a great live action, but they probably wouldn't have as much play or as much leeway with
Yeah.
it if it was live action.
Well, that's like
versus a
Vox
cartoon.
Machina is because you have elves and half giants. Like
Yes.
you can do whatever you want because you're not really offending anyone, but you can still
Right.
say it in a different sense where it's still
Someone
funny.
will find a reason.
Oh yeah,
They will find
They
a
look
reason.
hard, but it's always the vocal few that override everyone else because everybody they still they go towards Twitter, the hate machine, and they're like, oh, they're revolting on Twitter. But like when you talk to the general population, there seems to be a consensus that it's like,
Fuck does it matter?
Yeah.
yeah,
Stop being so sensitive.
I didn't give
Yeah.
a shit.
yeah. Even though they are and going after Joe Rogan right now, and
Yeah, but
they're
It's
trying
not working.
It's not going to
they're
work.
trying, but it's not because he is too good of a person outside of on what he does professionally that people are like
Like, oh yeah, he's a
everybody says shit, makes mistakes, and things get taken out of context, but it's also like we're all human. We all say shit. We all make mistakes. We all have private conversations. We all have public conversations.
It's like, yeah, he's a racist that hangs out with Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Come on,
It's
man.
stupid.
And actually,
stupid.
Plus,
is
they were
it Breaking Point or Burning Point? The one with Crystal and Cigar. They left the Hill. They started their own News Corp. One's left wing, one's right wing. So they actually tell both sides of the story.
Right.
So they actually went and they did their own supercut to completely contrary what the other supercut was, where it was all of his actual political views, his feelings on abortion and on universal health care. And they're like, well, here is his actual views.
Well, yeah.
Now go ahead and judge
everything
him.
they took out of like that they used against him, like the word he was saying and everything. They took it out of a comedy special. It was a comedy special.
Yeah, they took it out of context from where he was describing things from other comedians and
Right.
using
He was
it.
using the words of Richard Pryor. Like, you're taking a comedy special and trying to... We're talking about comedy.
Yeah.
We're talking about something where people go to pay to go to laugh.
Pay to laugh.
That's not somebody's beliefs. That's an act.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing. It's like
You didn't get a private conversation of him at a restaurant. Like, that's
Right.
not what you got. You got an act where people were there. They saw
They
it.
heard it. You know?
No, some of the
it's-
stuff they did take from his podcast as well, but he was describing things, and a lot of it was taken out of context. But it's also like, it's like it's a freedom of speech. People were a lot less offended growing up. Just even take like comedy films, movies, things from when we were growing up that our parents saw, and you were like, damn. Sometimes I watch I was watching like old Seinfeld episodes the other day because like I like to fall asleep to comedy. Like after watching all that dark, bloody murder shit, I'm like, I need something to laugh to before I fall asleep. And I'm like, you couldn't get away with saying some of the shit that they said in a very PC,
dude,
for back then.
Just-
TV
You can't make
show.
everyone happy.
You don't even got.
can't.
You don't even got to go back to Seinfeld. Go to the first season of Big Bang Theory and look at some of the shit in that very whitewashed, very calm network TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's just how it goes. And I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about Joe because when you look at it, there's too many people that support him. And it's not like those are any of his beliefs. Like Joe Rogan right now, his ratings, the people that listen to his podcast is like 8 times higher than the people that tune in to CNN.
Yeah.
And his thing is just literally a pillar of free
I believe
thought.
it's actually more because he gets about 11 million per episode.
There you go.
And CNN was under 500,000 at this point.
Thank God.
They lost 90% of their audience in the last year.
Weird. It's almost as if when you put out biased paid stories, people stop paying attention.
Yeah, it's almost as if when people realize you
Censored.
keep lying all the time, they stop.
People stop caring what
Watching.
you have to say.
Now, I don't want to switch gears on you guys, but I'm going to. I sent you guys 2 pictures. One of
Yeah, I didn't appreciate that one. You in the shower. That was
one that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, sorry. Okay,
And the
sorry.
second we will. That Mandalorian Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. But it's $180.
Yep.
Like
Should be nothing to you Xbox fans. You buy whatever Master Bill says to buy.
so they're saying that they're the professional build that comes with its own charger port and all of that shit. But I'm like, damn, at what point is like the hardware gonna be just as expensive as the console?
Well, I mean,
itself?
if you're buying a pro controller, it's not a surprise to spend like 120 on a controller.
right, but 200 now they're really that's what I'm saying. Like their price point
It's
keeps
because it's
jumping
specialized
up.
and marketed with another company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that a custom job after the controller, or was it coming from Microsoft that way?
It wasn't coming from Microsoft that way. I forget the name of the actual company that is selling them.
Because it also comes
see
down to like,
here.
are they hand painting these one at a
Because then
time?
Microsoft needs a cut, the artist needs a cut, and Disney needs a cut.
So they're being sold by a company called Razer. But it is an
Oh,
Xbox.
okay.
It is an Xbox.
I know who Razer is. Yeah, they make
item.
peripherals. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's dope, and I did
yeah.
order one, but
I
that's
doubt
not
it's
the
being-
point.
Did you just throw that in there? I did.
That's not the point. That's not the point. I was like, what can I trade in? I'm like, iPhone, this will get me 25 cents at the GameStop. All right, what else do I got?
I just have to have it.
I'm just glad that Chrono Cross, one of my favorite games from my childhood, is going to finally be remastered and able to be downloaded for Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation.
Are,
nice.
So
now,
happy.
are they just cleaning it up to like new graphics, or are they rebuilding the game?
Cleaning it up with new graphics. Now all enemy encounters are completely optional, so you can just run through if you don't feel like banging into enemies.
So they're updating it
And-
to more modern standards.
Yes, and I was looking at the trailer and the actual gameplay, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, because
They've
that's
cleaned up everything so
I've
much.
never played that game.
You need to play it when it comes out.
That-
Chrono Cross.
Chrono Cross.
So what is it about?
It's an RPG about a boy. It's a fantasy world, and like this guy, he goes to the beach one day to get a necklace for this girl he likes,
That is fantasy.
and he falls through the sand.
Guys don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Trust me, I would know.
Unbelievable
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, they just-
I would know. They don't do that.
and we all
Machine
know
knew it.
who you were.
we all know who you were.
TikTok, one day laugh.
But that is a game that's a
Wait,
classic.
let him finish. What is the game about? It's a game about a guy that gives a girl a necklace.
No,
Is
it's
that all
not.
it is?
He ends up falling.
goes to the beach
He ends up
and that's
falling
it?
through the sand. He ends up falling through the sand into this other portal of a world. He ends up in a world that's a mirror world to his own.
So he still didn't give her the necklace.
No, he hasn't.
She is never getting that necklace.
No.
You're never getting that
Well, you
necklace.
see what had happened was
That's the story he's gonna tell her. But babe, I fell through the sand. I was in a portal. I was
No, in the other world.
she's like, yeah, okay.
In the other world, he's dead.
Okay.
In the other world, same characters and everything, but when he shows up in the village, people freak out because he drowned 10 years ago.
So the YMCA guys were there.
Yes.
The village people.
Yes, the village people. And he's dead. And so there's so many characters to play from. There's like 44 different characters.
Oh, nice.
So you have to go through the game multiple times to get them all. Even through one playthrough, you cannot pick all the characters. You need to go through. Sweet. And some of them are like really difficult decisions. Like there's a girl that's really sick, and you have to. She's like a main character, and you're like, oh shit. Like, do I go to the hydro marshes to get a vaccine for, or do I just say literally, fuck her, let her die?
Right.
If you say fuck her, let her die, you get one of the best characters in the game, Glenn. And he's by far my favorite character in the game, so I always let kid die.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
As one should.
As one should.
Yeah. And when you
And-
want a Glenn, you get a Glenn.
You get a damn Glenn. He's the only character in the game that can dual wield. I'm sorry. I'm going for Glenn.
So you took Glenn over a dying child for cartwheels?
I'm sorry.
It's more interesting. Come on.
Yes, it is.
Also,
Yeah.
if
be feared.
you appreciate old RPG soundtracks, Chrono Cross, they're remastering the soundtrack, and Chrono Cross is considered by a lot of RPG purists to have arguably the greatest soundtrack of all time.
Nice. So Don King is playing
Don King's playing piano,
piano for the soundtrack.
really playing the piano. Yes, it's really him.
He's not playing a fake one.
Yeah, no, of course.
What were you saying, Ed? What were you saying? Yes.
No, because it is a game that's always on the top of list when you look at like the greatest RPGs of all time, and it is one that I actually never had a chance to play.
Now's the perfect time to play it.
Nice.
They're remastering it, redoing it.
When are they putting it out? Do you know?
It comes out April. April 7th, as a matter of fact. I will be buying it day one and
That's
vanishing.
a Thursday.
I
You'll be
wonder if
sitting all
it's
day.
I wonder if it's free on Xbox like everything else.
It probably will
It
be.
will not
It
be.
probably will be.
No.
This is
Not
the
acceptable.
one game PlayStation's getting this year. Oh, I hear bitterness.
Not at all.
The evil Joker laugh has come out.
Not at all.
A little salty. It's like,
Yeah.
you can tell.
The vein in the middle is just the Viking.
You always
blood
talk about
starts
my vein. How about
boiling.
yours is popping out now, huh? How does it feel?
You know what? I'm a PlayStation kid forever.
All
That's
right,
nothing
so,
I
all
can
right,
do.
Sierra, settle this right now. Are you a PlayStation girl or are you an Xbox girl?
Same.
Well, oh, you're a Candy Crush. You're a Candy Crush girl. Okay. Okay. All right. We got you. What, do you play any games?
Not really, no.
Oh, that's nice. Next person. Edward.
I just watch different TV shows.
Exactly. So the debate continues.
So the debate continues.
The debate is
All right.
ongoing.
Sorry, I can't settle this one for you guys. Gotta ask someone else.
Yes.
So bad.
Whatever he said.
Exactly. PlayStation. PlayStation's where it's at.
Make it easy. There we go. Whatever he said.
Yeah, nobody's in here fighting
so-
for the Nintendo brand. Ever.
No, and that's why Nintendo's so smart. They don't.
Well, I did
compete.
have a little Nintendo when I was younger, but that was Nintendo dogs. Taking care of
Nintendogs.
dogs that are probably dead.
What hospital do you work at again?
Hey, to quote, hey,
I was the only one. Everybody else out there who had that definitely has not taken care of their
Dogs are
animals.
still alive.
To quote-
okay?
My real dogs are fine, okay? They love me.
To quote Shay
you say.
from all those episodes ago, shout out to all the Nintendos that are
That
dead.
died, yeah.
That
That's
died.
right, yeah.
We all forgot about it.
And I brought it back again. You're welcome.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
See, and that's Nintendo. That's their strategy.
They got their own market.
I don't play video games. I had a Nintendo.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nintendo this whole time has just been letting Xbox
Yeah.
and PlayStation.
Except they're all
beat
dead
them.
because I don't know where the charger's at
Right,
either.
yeah.
so.
We were talking about villains on the last episode, right? For video game villains,
Right.
And like we neglected
Bowser.
the people in Nintendo Sports, in Nintendo Wii Sports, like the bald guy
Yeah.
that would fuck you up in all the Nintendo Wii Sports. He would always show up like he was like the Mike Tyson. Like I was like,
Boxing.
oh shit, he's in the golf too.
Oh, God.
He's in volleyball. Get rid of this
Bowling?
guy. Well, yeah, bowling. He was the guy that when I was boxing in my living room and somebody turned around and said, Nelson, and I punched him in the face. I was like, it's the guy. I'm trying to beat him. I'm trying to get my revenge. Remember when that was a thing too?
Yeah.
People were punching their TVs.
Yeah, well, now
punching
you-
their spouses.
Yeah.
Sony and Xbox are
They're like, make sure you please, like,
Put the strap.
secure the strap to your wrist.
yeah.
Like,
People
So-
lost
yeah.
some
they're
hardware.
your risk.
Sony and Xbox are two like drunk guys fighting in the street, and Nintendo is just this civilized person just sipping coffee at the local cafe.
yeah.
Like, oh, look at those two heathens.
Yeah. The best.
Wait
Okay.
until VR gets more widespread. The
Oh, yeah.
people that get hurt walking into walls, tripping over furniture.
Yeah.
People are gonna get hurt.
Oh, I've
Survival of the
already
fittest.
seen videos of kids just getting lit up. Like
Wrecked.
there was a guy doing some kind of VR boxing thing, and I watched like a fucking 6-year-old child walk into an uppercut from a full-grown man.
man.
Like the guy's just throwing. And
He's
like
winding
and
up.
some kid just tries to walk across, and this guy just throws. I mean, he throws like dips his legs, throws his shoulder, and he actually launches the kid into the air. I was like, oh
You
man.
see like the slow motion, like the body arcs.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Feet in the air.
He uppercutted this child to another dimension. I was like, oh man.
I
Like,
seen a video.
very good punch.
The guy
Good
was
form, good
playing.
form.
Yeah.
He was playing a horror game. So something happens and he turns and there's a zombie right there, and so it's in the game, but he tries to turn and then run in real life, and he just 100% flat into a wall.
I haven't tried it, but everyone who said, like, it's really realistic. Like,
It's getting a lot better. So
Well, they
Why
do
would
have
you-
the
why
one-
Why would you play a horror game?
I don't know,
In
but they
VR,
have
it's a
one that it's
terrible
a
idea.
VR for a horror game, but you're like strapped in to this like treadmill that goes in different directions.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good idea.
yeah.
That's a
The
good
So then
idea.
you're not
treadmill?
running into any walls,
Sure.
but at the same time, it's like you're just
That-
traumatizing yourself.
I think that's where the future is. I was gonna say like they're gonna need to make peripherals where people are fixated in place.
Well, they're literally strapped
way you
in with
don't
like a
hurt
harness,
yourself.
and they're like
Yeah.
walking around.
they
kind of
got
like when
they-
you were a child
Yeah.
and you got inside those little
Bouncy
things.
things.
You're like,
you
I
know,
want to go.
Where you walk around and it has wheels and it bounces up against the wall like so you don't hurt yourself. You know?
they have
We're
them.
regressing. We're regressing.
We are.
They have
Digress, yeah.
they have a couple of omnidirectional treadmills for the VR setups. It's,
They're gonna
it's
start
just-
selling them just as much as they're selling like the at-home bicycles.
Exactly.
As long as they don't have something where you like in your dream where you feel like you're falling. I don't want that. Like
Yeah.
I would totally love that.
I would hate.
Yeah, I would
that.
puke everywhere.
well, that was
Well, I was totally into it if it was about like Vikings and you know, you go back in time.
yeah. So that's
Viking.
Bringing up Vikings.
Yeah.
acid trips.
Yeah, that's the first game she'll buy. Viking Sex Simulator, 2024.
with free helmet with horns.
No, it's not about that. It's not-
Comes with controller cleaner.
Yeah, realistic goat fur that you can lay on.
well, no. Going back to the part, if you're not feared, then
Yeah.
you can go kill people and you're not getting in trouble for it.
Exactly, yeah.
Get out your anger.
As soon as the game starts, it says, "Would you like to put your controller on
That's
vibrate?"
right. Yeah, comes with a free chicken to sacrifice before you start playing the game.
No, it's a goat.
yeah.
Nah.
Goats are friendly.
They can be.
Yeah, but they're like also the number one sacrificed animal too,
This is true.
That's true.
This is
Why does every culture kill goats? I never thought of that.
because they eat trash.
They're easy to shepherd, I think.
Yeah.
Like they're probably
Well,
they're
that'd be like
very
pigs.
trusting. Like, come on over. Yeah.
I've
What
seen
about a pig?
Pigs were always considered filthy animals.
Yeah.
So because they mess in their own slop and they eat, all that shit the way that they do, they're like considered like bottom feeders. So they wouldn't be considered more of a holy animal, I guess. And I don't know.
Goats, freaking I've seen goats eat so many things. I've seen a goat eat a pamphlet, like a bunch of pamphlets before at an event.
Well, they're the same thing as like the tiger sharks. They eat everything, like the tires and license
signs.
plate tags and everything else.
I watched a goat eat like they were building something at this barn one time, and there was a goat. The guy looked in the bucket, and he's like, "Where all these fucking bolts go?" Fucking goat ate like a goat ate. And he goes, "No way, he could have chewed him, so he just swallowed him."
Oh,
I want to see those like fainting goats.
A bucket full of.
You just go, ah, and they're like, ah.
like at a certain point, you're like, there's a level of dumb animal, and swallowing bolts has got to put you way at the top of the list.
Exactly.
Actually,
But it's like, why are you sacrificing this dumb animal too?
Now that you say that about the fainting goats, my buddy Ronnie, when he was over in Afghanistan,
what did he do to this goat? Jesus Christ, sir!
My buddy Ronnie, when
Push it to the edge of a cliff.
My buddy Ronnie, when he was in Afghanistan, he was a Marine over there, and he flashbanged a herd of fainting goats.
Holy shit!
Like a herd of like 50 fainting goats.
Fuck yeah!
He fucking popped his flashbang and tossed it into the crowd of goats.
He
said it was biblical.
That's like when you think
hilarious.
of back in like cars and they had all the tractors and they blared the horn, they all just go and flip over.
Yeah, no, that's really it.
Well, there would be parts of Pennsylvania. It was kind of spooky though, because deer can do a lot of damage to your vehicle.
The white-tailed deer kills more people than any other animal in America.
And you would drive
outside of mosquitoes.
You would drive and you would just see eyes everywhere, and you would honk your horn to be like "Beep," to get them out of the way so you could drive your car. But like, it was such a frantic thing to see, like running everywhere. You're like, fuck. All you need is like, I felt like Mufasa in The Lion King. You just see wild animal running everywhere, just not this direction.
Which comedian said that? He said like everybody goes out and they try to hunt deer. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know why the hell you try to go. Like, you get up early. He's like, you get a gun. He's like, fuck that. He's like, they need to make the bullets go 35 and just put headlights on them. He's like, deer will actually throw themselves in front of the bullet.
Just go take a drive, in the middle of the
Yeah,
night.
you'll get them. You'll get one.
You don't even have to try. They're like, oh.
Or Louis
Let me jump in
C.K.
front.
Louis C.K.
They like wait
talks
for you.
about.
They see lights. They're like, wait for this. You watching?
Deer must be depressed. They must be depressed. They're just staying out there in the winter and they're like, I'm done with this shit. Is there a car?
I'm over it.
I've seen squirrels do it too. Have you ever seen like every now and again like a squirrel that's just like chilling on the side of the road and just like running back and forth?
And he's debating it.
Yeah. He'll like run halfway there and be like, no, I gotta go back. We gotta go this way. Turn back.
He's like, fuck it.
I'm gonna stay.
Okay, I got a crazy squirrel
And you always
story.
hear the little crunch.
We
got him.
The crunch is delicious. So I was in
See,
Pennsylvania.
I'm not the only violent one.
I was in Pennsylvania
And
at the
nutritious.
time, and there was like 7 of us in like a small like Geostorm. That's like a tiny hatchback. Should only
It's a
really
tiny
have
car.
I
4
remember the
people in there.
Geostorm.
It's a clown car.
Yeah, but we were all in high school at the time. There was a girl driving. I'm in the back middle seat.
Oh, so you're
And
all
we're
brave.
Driving down the dirt road, right? Yes, we are. We were very brave. And she hits the squirrel. And she didn't see it coming. She hit it. You felt the bump, and she starts crying like hysterically. Oh my god! We're on a dirt
felt
road.
bad.
She lets go of the wheel. Feel bad later. Foot
More in for life later. You have more lives that are more important.
Still on the gas. She didn't relent.
She hit a squirrel.
Yes.
She has a car full of 7 people.
Yes.
She
In a
cared more about the
tiny
squirrel than the
ass
people.
car.
She releases the wheel
Releases the wheel to cry
with her foot still
On the gas.
on the gas. I'm in the back middle seat.
Okay.
Jump towards the front.
Jesus is driving.
Grab it.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I wasn't.
Sandals
a minute.
and all.
I wasn't a minute. So then I had to grab the wheel, literally sit on her lap to hit the brakes. Now, if you've ever driven on a dirt road and somebody's hitting the gas and they're doing like 50 on a dirt road and you hit the I don't care. We didn't have a
still
lot
moving.
of weight. We were fishtailing. Like for like another 30, 40 feet. Like we could have crashed like 1,000 times. And I'm just like it's going this way. I'm whipping it that way and whipping it back. And my foot's on the brake. And then I had to start pumping the brake. Like we got out of there alive. Everybody got out of the car like thankful that we didn't die. She's still crying. Like
Well, we know who's never driving again.
Oh no, I never got in a car with her again. But like that was the one time I think I saw my life flash before my eyes. Like I just reacted to the point where it was just like she's like, "Oh!" And the car is going faster. I'm like, the kid in the front is just
What are
like,
you
what are you
doing?
doing? Yeah.
She probably grew up and now she's working on the set of Lord of the Rings on Amazon.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't flip the e-brake though, because I felt like the speed we were moving it on a dirt road, like if you would have hit the e brake at that speed,
You're going in the field.
you really would have spun.
fishtailed and hit and rolled.
Well, that's like hydroplaning too.
That was the only time where I was like, I got out of the car like, because you didn't
I'm
want to walk
alive.
anywhere in Pennsylvania. I was like, I'll walk. Hour and a half to the next house.
I don't know where I'm
driving.
going, but I'm still walking. I'm not getting back in this car.
No cell phones, no pay phones. We're in the middle of nowhere. I'll walk.
I'm gonna walk.
I'll take my survival instincts over you driving again.
Yeah, not doing this ever again.
What about you, Sierra? You ever have any near-death experience?
Almost got attacked by a big bull moose hiking on a trail.
Oh shit! And those now
She met him on Tinder.
moose are huge though.
No, they're like really aggressive too.
Yeah,
I mean, like the females aren't as bad only unless they have like their babies with them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Females
this,
are never as bad.
yeah.
well, this one was like back like 6 years ago, and I was hiking with my sister, and we were hiking ahead because I never walk with my parents because they walk too slow.
Right.
But
Wow.
Which now, if you think about it,
Thank you for
those,
raising me.
Those could be excellent.
You walk
shields.
too slow.
They could be
Yeah.
excellent. Slow people
I'll handle
make for
myself.
good
It's
shields.
fine. I walk fast enough. It's nothing's gonna catch me. It's fine.
Yeah.
But no, we were walking, and all of a sudden, like I hear my name being like screamed in the back, and I'm like, looking at my sister. I'm like, do you hear something? It sounds like someone's screaming my name. And we hiked back, and there is my mom. She's like on the floor. She broke her ankle actually.
Oh,
Because
shit.
it was a
Running.
no, we were just hiking. So it's like one of the trails in the beginning where they have like the pack mules that go in and out. So it kind of gets like muddied.
Right.
And
Remember the woman driver took her hands off the wheel? Just walking.
okay, she hurts herself every time, but this was the worst.
Okay.
At the real Ian Banks.
Bring it, bitch.
Well, anyways,
Yes, continue.
my dad for the last 3 miles has to piggyback her out off the trail because she can't walk.
Damn.
But she's smaller than me.
Right.
She's 5'2", like doesn't even weigh 100 pounds.
Right.
So I'm carrying my dad's backpack, and my sister has my mom's, and we're walking down this trail, and here comes right down the trail. I'm in front. There's this big ass bull moose walking towards us, and he is like
Shit.
Get off the
aggressive.
trail. Get off
He's
the
like snorting and like getting like big, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
shit.
My block, bitch. You wearing the wrong colors. This my hood.
You get off that trail.
We all had to like go off. Like my dad still got my mom on his back, and we're like hiding behind a tree. We're like, oh shit.
Yo, big ups to your
All right,
dad.
be real quiet. We don't want to
ups-
piss him off.
Yeah,
Just
big
get
ups
out
to
of the
your
way
dad,
and let him go.
I know a lot of people that would have left that woman behind. Be like, sorry, babe. Bull Moose. It's
Yeah.
been real.
See you later. Good luck. Good luck. I have to carry like medical supplies with me because of her.
Wow.
It's insane. Literally every single time she falls
She
or
always gets
something.
hurt.
Yeah.
Aw, it's for attention. That's nice.
Oh, what now? You go back. It's like, all right, I just gotta go by myself now. I can't.
What about you, Ian? Any near-death experience?
I think
you've
you
ever
have a
gone
few.
through?
Near-death experience. I've had a couple near-death experiences. Ironically, back dirt road in Pennsylvania. Okay. I remember this back in the younger days. This is probably like a 19-year-old Ian. And
So 3 years ago.
yes. And my friend Donnie, it was my mom's boyfriend's son. And Donnie he had just got a new truck. He just bought a new Dodge pickup. And we were at this party. I think it was my friend Tyler Godfrey's party. I don't know how you're doing, Tyler, but how are you?
The creator now.
Yeah. Yes. And we were at
Bigger
this
and better
party, and
things.
Donnie was like, all right, I'm going to drive back to the house. And he had been drinking. And me, who was also drunk, both of us underage, 19, I said, well, I can't let you go alone. I got to make
I
sure.
support you.
I shall join this death trap
What
with
the,
you.
what the hell
Yes.
am I going to do? I'm going to jump in the passenger seat. All right, man, I can't let you go home alone. Backcountry roads, you know? So we're driving. And these roads, I'm in the passenger seat. I'm starting to get tired. And like he's driving. At one point, he goes, "I think someone's behind us." Like he was looking, he's seeing shit. Like he's looking in the rearview mirror. Like,
Seeing
and
things.
we're driving, and he's like, he's going probably pretty quick for these backcountry roads. We're by a farm. I knew that. I could see like pastures on our left, a hill with more pastures on our right, and we went around this bend. I guess there must have been a hill in front of us because when I woke up, we were in the fucking air. Like we hit this embankment. And this truck launched. And when I say launched, fucking launched. Like we were in the air. And we came down, we slid sideways. And when we slid sideways, we were sliding this way. Because I remember looking out my side, like the passenger side. And the posts for the fence were exploding on the door.
Oh my God.
And then the window blew out, and I got hit with rocks and dirt and glass. And then we kind of popped back out, and we were on the road. So thank you, Dodge. You built a pretty decent truck.
Sponsorship.
Sponsor us.
We'll plug you. We'll plug you. So
You
we're
and
driving.
Uber Lube.
We're driving. We're still moving. We're still moving up the road. And I said, at this point, it's fucked up. I'm like in Donnie's lap. And like I'm looking up at him. And I'm like, are we okay? And he goes, yeah. And then he reaches out his broken window. And he grabs like what's left of the mirror that's like dangling from a string. And he goes, but my truck's fucked. And we ended up
Priorities.
We ended up making it back to the house and everything. And this is where I realized that a sleeping bag that I had in the car had fallen out into the farmer's field, and I think it had like something of mine in it. And this is where that story I told with Margot on the story, where we went back to get something that was in the farmer's field, and the farmer jumped on the hood of the car, and that's where I fucking yelled to my girlfriend at the time, Celeste, wherever you are, darling.
Yeah.
The poor choice of words, blow him off.
Yeah.
Blow him off.
Yeah, blow him off. Yes, blow him
Yes.
off. Never yell
never,
blow him off.
Never uttered like that. And she literally took off driving with this old man farmer on the hood and blew him off.
That's a ride or die.
He flew. He
That's
flew.
it. See you later.
I remember we were driving. He had a hold of the windshield wiper, and next thing you know, he went up over the hood, and there was no windshield wiper anymore. But there was also no farmer. So
Mission accomplished if I ever heard one.
I survived, but I do not know if the farmer did or not. So
Ed, you ever had any near-death experience?
Not nearly as colorful as Ian's.
blow him off.
It's like one time I ate peanut butter and I'm allergic to peanuts. The end.
Again,
Felt
this
rebellious.
Is in Pennsylvania, like everybody else's story.
God bless Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah,
Moral
Okay,
of
at
the
least I'm
story.
different. Mine was Montana.
Yeah, there you go.
Switch it up a little bit.
That's fair.
driving back from Strasbourg to Tobyhanna,
I know Strauss.
and it was a nice winter night. Little light snow happening,
Just enough to slide.
Yeah.
just enough to have some black ice.
Oh God, I love it.
I
Yeah.
love black ice.
Which is always fun because when it's snowing lightly, you're not really too worried about black ice.
You
but
can't trust that black ice.
No. Motherfucker.
It's not like regular
But,
ice.
Yeah.
You know, so it's snowing
Again,
ever so.
that is not me.
I didn't say it.
I did not say that.
I'm trying to just plow on through.
He's just ignoring everything he said. He's like, I'm just gonna keep going with the story.
So it was just
There Eddie was, plowing through.
I had the black ice.
And he was plowing through.
Blowing that guy off and you're plowing through. Go ahead.
So it's just kind of a light snow coming down. Everything's melting, so it's not really concerning at any particular point.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm coming through a fork in the road, which is usually actually very busy. And nicely and luckily enough, there was no cars because as I'm going and I'm making the turn to go to the right on the fork, and I hit a patch of black ice, and I'm just spinning. And spinning. So I'm facing when I'm like, one, nope, I gotta go. Oh, it's just around and around. And eventually I started getting control, but now I'm just fishtailing back and forth around the whole road. It's like, got a telephone pole here, you got a ditch over here, you got a telephone pole.
I choose telephone pole.
I mean, it had to be like
ditches are
400 yards
fucked.
that I was just sliding all over the fucking road. It wasn't like a small
What are you in?
patch.
What are you driving?
I'm in a big SUV.
Oh, well, that's good at least.
You're protected.
Well, no, it's not good
Telephone
because
pole.
I'm hoping this motherfucker doesn't tip over. It was one of the old. So this is a while ago. So this
Was
is
it a Dodge?
No. It was at an Isuzu. So it was one of the SUVs that had like the rollover warning. Like we're top heavy. Be careful.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm screwed.
Yeah, like this is gonna be bad. And one of the lucky things is this road, for once in my life, it was empty. Because on any other day, on any other time, there's dozens of cars on this road, and it would have been just a fucking pile up. But it was like 300 yards of just ice that was just sliding all over, just barely keeping it on the road.
Jesus.
At least there's no one else.
Those
there, though.
videos are
That
always,
was
got lucky.
very, very lucky.
those videos are always horrifying where you see like it's always from like a highway up north
Yeah.
and like you just see like people just continuously sliding into each
Yep.
other.
Yeah.
And it'll be like foggy and icy and like out of the fog you'll see like an 18-wheeler coming
And it's just
you-
halfway sideways.
Oh, and
And it's
you're
like
like,
slowly
oh,
separated. We're gonna take
it's
out both
going
sides of the
50,
road.
It's going 50 and you're like, oh god, like 'cause you know oh fuck. You're trapped. You're
Well,
just
that
in your
happened
cars
to my
like,
sister's car though, out in Montana, because she had it parked on the side, and it was snowing and like the road was icy. Thank God she wasn't in the car yet, but she was like walking back to her car, and this 18-wheeler like lost control, was just sliding down and completely wrecked her car.
Fuck. Luckily, she
That was when
still
she had like a little mini.
made it through it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little
shout
car.
out to all the plow guys up north that when you park on the street and they literally the town ordinance would tell you, they would say, do not park on the street, we're supposed to get snow tomorrow.
Yep.
If you park on the street, we're plowing the streets, we're not responsible for any damage.
Oh, yeah.
They will take out your door, they will take out your mirror.
They don't care.
They will
Nope.
scrape not just the paint, they will scrape your shit. I mean, it's just
You know what? Funny enough, when I lived up north, they used to call me the plow guy. You're welcome. The jokes are free. I'm here for bar mitzvahs, weddings, special events. Only if there's an open bar.
Then it gets funnier. As the night goes on.
Yeah, this is me just drinking some bai, if that's how this is pronounced. I don't know.
Coconut water.
No, when we got drunk last weekend with Alexis, we did a 4-hour fucking podcast, and that's
Yeah, that
always
was-
Alexis. I love
yes.
it. I enjoy his time.
he brought whiskey to a beer episode.
Yeah, he cheated. We're
did.
like, we're gonna do brew wars, beer wars, where it's just gonna be talking about Star Wars and drinking beer. This motherfucker's pulling out special shit. From
Yeah.
like,
I can talk to you about good bourbon though.
oh, there you go.
I mean, I worked at a liquor store. Come on, I gotta try it all. I'm not an alcoholic, I swear.
yeah, they
try
have
it all.
like bottles of vodka with like silly straws in them in the back, like.
Oh my god, it's peach flavor.
There's no calories in it.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
I mean, you gotta deal with stupid people there too.
yeah, yeah.
Is there
Yes,
like the
I
one
can
question?
imagine.
Is there wine that's only made from grapes? Why yes, all of it.
And I
That's
got
the term wine.
yeah, and I gotta imagine like you're in a liquor store as a female, you got to deal with a number
Oh, I've been
of
harassed multiple times.
drunk men walking in there,
Yeah.
like just being assholes.
Well, not even by like drunk people, just creepy old men.
Yeah.
Like I was like
get
harassed.
it.
Like one guy literally was just staring at me because I did like the samples and stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Can I help you?" And he was just staring at me. He's like, "No." And I was like, "Do you want to like try something?" He's like, and then he walked away, and then he went onto the side of one of the aisles and was just like peering out the side, staring at me. I was like, I feel so uncomfortable. I walked over and told my manager, and they had to kick him out.
Yeah, that's fucking creepy.
I was
as
like,
hell.
I am not okay with this.
Yeah, moral of the story is
Yeah, that
if
was
you
the guy.
drive-
That was the guy I hired. He never took the shot. He never
Don't
took the
stare at a woman for long periods of time. It's not sexy. They're not going to come talk to you. It's creepy. Don't honk when you're driving by.
shot. Unless you
No.
have a, unless,
Or the
unless,
guy last night in bowling.
unless she has a staring fetish.
No.
I like to be stared at.
No, I tried to go like
Ask
when
for
we went
permission
bowling the other
first.
night. I
Then
tried
you
to go to
stare.
the bathroom, and there was this guy like he worked for the bowling. And he goes, "Oh, just wait, don't go in yet. There's a officer in there because we think there's a guy in the women's bathroom, and he's gonna escort him out." And I was like, "Okay, like, let me know when I can use the bathroom."
Maybe he identified as a woman.
Yes, and he
No,
needed to
no
show
more
up.
than I
utilize
start
the
walking
facility.
away.
Dare you assume?
Dare you assume what I am?
Well, I turned
You
around
think
and the
just because
officer's
I have a
escorting him
penis?
out, and I was like, "So I could have just went in there and no one knows." And this big grown man's in there. I'm just like,
Uh-huh. Yeah. See, we never have to worry about that because all the creepy guys that sneak into the men's bathroom belong there.
Fuck yes.
he goes, "No, I thought this
Okay.
was the men's bathroom."
You know what's okay?
I don't want him in there with us either. So why don't we have a special bathroom?
You
for
know
him?
what? Speaking of bathrooms, we're gonna wrap this up with our bathroom person that we don't like. Okay, this is what we're gonna do, and I'll
man.
start it up to give you guys some thoughts. For me, it's when you have 5 urinals and you pull up to a urinal,
Oh man. I know
and
he's
like
gonna
as a
say.
man, if a man is at urinal 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5 in succession.
3 to 5.
3 to 5 is your option.
You don't go
right?
to 2 and 4 unless 3 and 5 are already full.
That's right. So only if they're full is it acceptable. And even sometimes I will respectfully wait. Or go into a stall and pee all over the seat like every other grown man. Sometimes the floor. So also,
and
Someone has a problem aiming.
then if you want to take it to another level, you pee on the fucking paper towel. You piss all over the toilet paper roll.
I must
So
try
then when
this.
they reach, it's just
Squish.
I must try this new standard of low. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate your input.
You go
the
lower, go
the
lower.
guy that I don't like is the guy that will pull up next to you and pee next to you, but then also don't talk to me while I'm pissing. I don't care if we're friends for years. I don't care if we're family.
That's a nice cock you got there.
Yeah, like there should be no conversation. When I'm in the bathroom, private time, motherfucker. So if we're out in a family gathering or friends and like we're using the bathrooms together, pretend like I'm not there.
Wasn't that
pretend like
wasn't
you're
that
not
in Harold and Kumar? Like he's peeing in a bush in the middle of the woods. And that guy just walks up on me and goes, "This your bush?" he's like,
I'm using this one.
he's like, hey, man, he's the woods middle of the night. In the middle of the night. There's no one around.
tree.
He's in the forest and he's like taking a piss in this bush and the guy comes up, starts peeing, and he goes, "Hey man, can you like stand somewhere else?" He goes, "This is your bush." He goes, "You king of forest," and he's like, "Please don't fucking stab me."
Go find like another tree or something.
Oh shit.
All right, Ian, you're up.
All right, so your guy, I guess, what are we gonna call him? Like, is this your bush guy? Like,
That would be. I'll call him the Close Encounters guy.
my guy is someone I'm gonna call fucking Rooster Cogburn, and the reason I'm gonna call him that is this is the guy that like he uses the fucking stall. He doesn't use the fucking urinal. He uses the stall, and this motherfucker must be eating like all fiber, like just like chugging magnesium citrate, and he just walks in there to take a shit, and he must like lean the whole way forward, like he must lean the whole way down. And he just rooster tails the back of the bowl, the fucking wall. Like he just like it looks like someone painted with shit, like just dipped it and then slang it up like that, and just like
It's a work of art. He's painted
yes, he's an artist.
It's his Mona Lisa.
in his own right.
Yes, that's his masterpiece, and he's just doing it with his gastric functions.
Yes.
And does he clean it up? Fuck
No.
Fuck no.
You leave it for the
I don't
next
even know
guy.
how.
Leave it for the poor bastard to clean.
Yes, you look at it and you go, "There's no way that guy didn't walk out of here."
It's a 50-50 shot if he even flushes on the way out.
No, absolutely not. He wants you to appreciate. He wants you to appreciate his art, and you know he didn't
And
get out of
smell
there without fucking like chocolate frosted nuts.
Yeah.
You know that there's no way he cleaned himself up properly, but he just walks out. And when you go in, you really got to go because you're shitting in public, and like you get in there, and the bowl underneath the seat, the wall,
Bro,
like it's just
listen.
splattered.
If I die, I die. I'm going home with that inside eternally combusting.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there.
Yeah, you can't. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna sumo squat over
Yes.
the bowl? Like, what? I mean, at that point,
You have to do it like Naruto, like 1 foot in the air, just like.
Yes. You gotta like hang from the ceiling with the pipes and like shit from the fucking rafters.
from the rafters.
So-
Put your foot on the door.
Yes. So my guy is Rooster Cogburn. You know
Rooster
who you are.
Cockburn guy, Close Encounters
Oh,
guy.
Rooster tailing up the bowl.
Rooster Taylor.
Man.
All right, Sierra, what about you?
Well, it's a little different because for women,
Yes.
Is it? It is. What?
Yeah,
What's
you
different?
guys,
I mean, we don't piss standing up, so.
you ladies go in groups.
Some
Yeah,
of
exactly.
you do.
That's where I was gonna start.
Some of you do.
Okay, not the majority. All right, but
I will not be
women
silent.
never go to the bathroom alone. There's always a group where you go with somebody else. That's just how it is. Like you
Right.
talk about everything in the bathroom.
I was gonna say, why is that? Why do you travel in packs?
Gotta feel safe. I mean, there might be a man in the fucking bathroom.
Okay, all right. Okay.
In
So this
2022,
could
you're
be
correct.
Like,
Yeah.
it could be like
You're
a
correct.
genetic thing that they have this burn.
We travel in
into
packs.
their very being.
I'm going on
I
a secret
can't go
mission.
pee by myself.
I'm putting on makeup. I'm putting on dress. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna find out what's going on.
So you girls are the pack rats. That's what it is.
That's right.
You look over, it's like, do you get to pee yet? Yeah, let's go.
I travel in groups of 12.
Okay, all right.
But with that fact comes, there's never enough stalls. They
Because
know
you-
that. No. No.
I thought you girls double up. Like,
You sit on my lap, I sit on yours.
Well, no, you already know there's more than one girl going to the bathroom at the same
Sure.
time, but there's never. They put the same amount of stalls in a girl's bathroom as they do for guys.
right.
There's never a line for the guys' bathroom.
Yes.
There's never a line for the guys'
Because
bathroom.
we don't go with the buddy. You know, we don't do that. Hey, bro, you got piss? Hey.
Well,
Yeah,
considering
so-
also the-
Right.
Well, also considering the
you
fact
shake
that girls
it for
don't
me?
stand
Yeah.
up.
Give me a dab, bro. Give me a dab. Shake the droplets off, man. Come on. I thought we were cool. Give me a little.
Bring it out.
So
flap.
you girls hate the fact that they don't put enough
stalls in there. But then there's also the fact of girls don't stand up to go like pee, but I don't understand how some of the girls, it's just covered. I'm like, how do you manage to do that? You're sitting down, or at the very least, you squat and hover.
or she's a swirler.
Yeah. She might be a swirler.
It might be one of the ones he's talking about. They're standing up and trying to be.
Or she kind of does she stands and just points it towards the bowl and just goes, hopes for the best.
She's just yelling, wish for the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
And another one.
But if you're out at night and it's like a club area, or just everyone's drinking, those are the nicest girls. They give the best compliments. They're like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty!" And you're just
if only we were like that. I'm gonna start doing it.
So your person is the swirler, the one that just destroys.
Yeah.
You should have excellent aim. It's right there for you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be missing.
No, there shouldn't be piss all over the seat.
I guess it's a different weapon, We kind of got like a sniper rifle. They got a shotgun.
Yeah.
Blast goes with. You can't control it.
They have a claymore.
This is the worst topic. I love it. Ed, what about you?
The most annoying that I've ever dealt with is the person that stares. So this was a situation.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. This is one of those you don't forget. I was at the flea market. So it's not even the closed urinals. It's like the open ones where it's one step away from like the trough at a carnival.
So you're shoulder touching.
Yeah, you have to shoulder touch.
And it's dirty.
Shit.
So everybody else there's only 2 stalls, and everybody's waiting in line, letting everybody go one at a time because the only privacy you have is looking into the corner. So it's my turn. I go and I'm using. The person doesn't just pull up shoulder to shoulder. Pulls up shoulder to shoulder, and he's just staring down in my direction the whole fucking time. So then I'm looking at him like, this is way too much fucking closeness.
Do I know you?
What the fuck are you doing? And just there the whole time.
Listen, at that point, you got to headbutt a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I'm sorry. Bang, bitch! My face!
You gotta pay for this
Personal bubble.
You didn't get tickets, sir. I'm sorry.
You gotta pay small interest free.
And I know because it's my event.
It's like everybody knows what the number is. There's 5 people in line waiting, and we're all going one at a time, giving as much privacy and as little bit of privacy that you can.
A few times you actually have a line in the middle of the bathroom.
Yeah, you know what?
When you have like bathrooms that are designed like that, where like it's literally, if you look to like some places, like it's a trough. It's literally just a pan that you just stand in front of and everyone can piss in at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like, this is just inhuman. A tree would be better.
Look outside, you're like, better privacy.
It's splattering all over your shoes. She's like, fuck it.
It would have been a little bit worse if he would have just been like, nice.
Nice.
Cock-a-roo. That's called Conan O'Brien. He does that shit in his podcast. He's like, cock-a-roo.
I like the vein setup you got going on, man. That thing looks irrigated.
And on that note, Eddie, cue the music. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast. You can find us on all your social media platforms at
Sofa Kingdom OFC.
And you can find us on YouTube.
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Ian, take it away.
Like, subscribe, share, listen. We appreciate your support.
That's right.
Comment, notification button, follow.
Anything, really.
Tell a friend.
Anything.
Yeah. Just don't tell that guy that stares in the urinal. You guys can keep him.
We don't want him.
You ever run into the person that leaves the door open while they're taking a shit? Now that's a savage.
No, you know what?
That's a fucking animal.
A power move.
That's alpha move. He's like, come on in.
No, they have those porta potties like in the mountains where it's just all open and you take a shit and you're just looking at everything.
No.
Yeah, but you know what? You do want that mountain air just breezing over your genitalia.
It's a nice view though.
My nuts smell like pine needles.
She said open urinals are a nice view.
No, not open your.
You can't take it back.
The mountains.
You can't take it back.
No, the mountains.
God bless. Thanks for coming out, Sierra.
anytime.
Jesus.